looking to
he gets his tax thing going.
and TMJ.
Well, you know, listen, here's the point, is that it's not a company, it's a country. You're not a CEO where you go in and bark orders and everybody says, yes, sir. You got to have some skills. You have to have compromise. You have to know what the fuck you're doing. You can't just go in and bark orders. He's finding out the hard way that this is not just a dictatorship. Guess what? He thought, I'm just going to get it done, and not everyone believes in him. So that's what he has to come to grips with.
Right? I made a comment this week or last week. He had no idea how tough a job it would be and how demanding it would be. Has he ever looked at people who come in to become president? They've got nice dark hair, like you do, Mark, and when they come out, they look like they're 100 years old.
The only thing is, he wants you to start off, I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino, and then say it. The iHeart part.
I know.
And then you got to give out the phone number
That's fucking easy.
in the 800
It's
number.
not a big deal. You give out the number for what?
For the iHeart app, and then you got to say that some text will be coming back to you, and star 250 at the end.
Yeah, right, sure. I'm not doing that. I'm kidding. I know you fucking Mark, I got you nailed now.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
You're trying to get me to get pissed off. It ain't going to happen anymore.
David, don't you love Southwest Airlines?
That's a challenge.
Actually, I like
That is a
Southwest.
challenge.
I like the way you can save seats when you walk in. So if you have the first boarding pass, you can grab seats for all your friends that don't get on till the end.
I like that they're always friendly and helpful. I'm like, I don't fly
They
United.
suck.
I pay more. I will not fly United. They are the nastiest freaking people.
I fly airlines by brand, not by price.
Yeah, right. Sure you do, Mark. Everything I preach, he's going against. Yeah. Nobody buys a brand.
You know, carbs are one of the best things for you.
And lots of sugar.
Candy bar diet.
Why do you go with carbs? Just get yourself a bottle of sugar and sip on it all day long.
When I start taking time and he starts taking the reins, I'm going to turn in and he's going to say, okay, from now on, or whatever, we're going to promote saving seats and... And by the way, Tom was all wrong. Eat sugar every fucking day.
There you go.
Carbs that matter, we'll call it.
Carbs that matter. Carbs that make you happy.
The new reality.
On the web at shopbmw.com. And tell them Dave Logan sent you.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure...
I wonder how Microsoft will do today, man. Earnings.
Hey,
I'm holding.
Can they listen to archives on iHeart of my show and stuff? Do you know?
Yeah, they're all like all your podcasts are on the app and stuff. So the way they got this set up, they actually have it set up in the 10:15 stop block.
He said anytime I want. The best time to do it for me is at the top when I introduce myself. Yep.
Sounds good to me.
It's the best time.
Yeah, because
every day.
You're already talking YouTube.
Yep, exactly.
Tim said, though, to do it towards the middle of the show.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you.
During the commercial
You're
break.
right. And then
Third hour.
The 800 number and a disclaimer.
And the star 250.
Thank you.
Let's star 250. Leave it to iHeart to come up with star 250, right? I hope
It's not a bad idea.
If it works, it's a great idea.
They do work. The thing is, Mark, I love that the texting stuff. I love that idea.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, I did. In fact, I like it. I thought it was actually I thought it had gone away, and now they're now making it back. I thought it was all done.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help, I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome. This is the longest running radio show in the nation with the same host and the most prolific when it comes to recovering cash merchandise exchanges, refunds, and services for people. Yes, I love advice shows, but you want to know something? We get down and dirty. Do you know Mark actually goes out on stories with Deputy Dan? Now, I do some too, but Mark, he'll go out and investigate something, and we have the unbelievable resources of the referral list, and they help. So when we need help, we go to our respective areas of expertise, and they help us solve problems. So if you need a problem solved, give us a call. If you need advice, give us a call. You just want to bounce something off us, give us a call. If you want to just say hi, give us a call. You can do on-air reviews. And I want to remind you, we're here every day. And we're also live on Facebook. And we're live on YouTube. And, of course, iHeartRadio. That is a great app, iHeartRadio, because you can find me anywhere in the country. If you have friends, neighbors, and you want to tell them about me, just go to iHeartRadio. That makes this a national show, and you can download archives or podcasts you can listen to anytime, even if you didn't hear it live. You can also, of course, get any radio stations you want. In fact, you can configure your own radio station if you like a certain type of music or a certain genre. So don't forget, and all you have to do is download it onto your smartphone, and you're done. It's the iHeartRadio app. I have it, and it's cool because when I'm away, I want to hear how Mark's doing. So that's the way you can do it. Let's talk about your problems, questions, and complaints, okay? What's going on with Marie? Marie, what's happening?
Hi, Marie.
Tom, you Marie.
Hi, Tom. This is Marie.
What's
I have
happening?
a friend, Jeff. He's a paraplegic. He's a veteran. From using his wheelchair for so many years, his shoulder needs to be replaced. Okay, so now he's down to one arm. Rosa was going to do the surgery. Then Veterans Administration said they would take him on the acute floor for 100 days for rehab. Now they said they won't take him.
Why? Well, are they denying the surgery altogether?
No, they're not denying the surgery. They're saying he doesn't need acute care. He needs to go...
He doesn't need acute care after the surgery.
Right.
Okay.
But he can't even get to the bathroom by himself. If you were in a wheelchair and had one arm you couldn't use, how would you go to the bathroom?
We get this a lot, Tom.
Yeah.
And they're now looking at 100 days in some nursing home with a therapy wing, and their private insurance will only pay 65% of the first 100 days.
So are they saying...
VA was going to pay for it all.
I understand.
Now they've got to come up with
In a
all
nutshell,
this money.
in a nutshell, Marie, they're saying that this disabled vet can get a surgery, but when it comes to the aftercare, he's got to pay for some of it, and it's not going to be at the level that he was originally told.
He has to pay for some of it, but VA is going to pay for zero aftercare.
Zero aftercare. So
his private insurance through his employer will pay 65% of it for the first 100 days, but the other 35%
why?
they have to pay on their own.
So VA is refusing to pay for aftercare. I guess I have to know why. What reason did they give?
They said because it wasn't acute care.
It wasn't necessary?
No.
Did you get
necessary?
You remember that poor woman that fell off the cliff?
Yeah, Marie, I'm not asking your opinion. I'm asking you, did they say it was not necessary?
No.
So what did they say?
The surgery is necessary.
I'm not talking about the surgery. I'm talking about aftercare. What did they actually say that they're not paying because why?
They're not. Let me.
Here's what I want to do. Okay, I don't want to waste time. I need to get in touch with this guy directly. We just need him to call us, and we need to find out exactly what the denial was. You see, we need facts and stuff. I'm not going to go down a bunny trail without having facts. So get me the rejection. Get me any communication that says you are not being covered and here's why, or you can't be covered, or anything at all that he has. We need something. We can't just call VA and say, why aren't you helping this guy? What we need are specifics. The date of the surgery, and where they are proposing he goes and why they're not paying. Any kind of communication. Suzanne, have them get that and get back in touch with us. Give him a direct number where he can get in touch with us. Deputy Dan, will you be looking for that for us? And then what we'll do is we will then go to VA and try to get a comment. Karen, what's going on with you, Karen? Welcome.
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
I was looking on your referral list because we need a reputable fence company.
Well, we have a few people that do fencing, right, Mark? We have a few.
Shemansky.
Yeah, Genesis Total Exteriors, they do fencing. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, but I'm writing these down.
Yeah, Genesis. In fact, they're good people.
Oh, man, they do fences, decks, windows. They do it all.
But so Genesis is easy to remember. You know, the beginning Genesis, and he also, like Mark says, does anything. He does all home improvements. They started out specializing in the exteriors, like the siding, windows, and all that. And they have that new solar window. They have a lot of good stuff.
They do a pop top.
Okay, but they do fences.
Yes, their main forte is that kind of stuff. Painting, fences, decks. Here's their number: 303-679-8509.
8509. Thank you so much.
Now, I hate to slight other people. If you go to the referral list and search fencing, but, you know, Mark is a go-to guy. 303-679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And by the way, that solar window is extraordinary. We can do that. We can talk about that another time, but it's just unbelievable that you can have windows that over a period of time will eventually pay for themselves. If you do nothing, they'll just eventually, through credits and paying down your utility bill, even if you don't have a solar system, which is amazing. David Salisbury is with us today, attorney at law. David, of course, does the area of law having to do with wills, probate, estates, estate planning. What do you call that area of law? Trust, wills, is there one area? What do they call it? It's not elder law necessarily.
No, it's basically estate planning. Encompasses all of that.
Estate planning encompasses. Okay, and of course, there are many people that go without wills because they don't think they need one, and that's probably true in some cases. When it comes to bills, this is something that I truly, truly want to get across, David. I think a lot of people have a misimpression that they can be held responsible for debt of an estate.
No, Tom. The only party that will be liable for any debts is the estate. So they have to be paid before their distributions, but it's not the responsibility of the personal representative or the family. If there are debts to be paid, they are paid from the assets of the estate.
I have heard people say timeshares, oh, don't be strapped, don't strap your kids or your grandkids with this timeshare, get rid of it. And I just want to make it clear that no matter what responsibility someone has at death, it does not go to their heirs unless the heirs literally sign for it.
Either that or they distribute the money out when there are still debts to be paid.
Right.
Then the creditors could come after the people who got the distributions.
If they say you were, let's say, not diligent, or you breached your fiduciary responsibility, in other words, you knew there were bills due.
Right.
You did not make a good faith effort to settle them, and you distributed the money. So that's where you could be held responsible only as a personal representative. If a personal representative distributed money to you and you took the money and you didn't know anything about the estate, you can't be held responsible for any misdeeds. They may be able to claw the money back. I'm not sure. Can they, David, you think?
Yeah, I think they could go to court and get the money back, or at least get maybe on a pro rata basis enough from all the beneficiaries to pay whatever that debt is.
I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Remember, we got a lot happening here. Stick around.
Credit card companies don't generally come back, though, do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they'll come after me.
Oh, yeah.
Metro area right now, westbound I-70 is slow.
How about if they said you knew the person was going to die and they were working all these bills up right before they died and they had no real estate?
The person who died, the estate would be responsible, but
if there's no assets,
there's no money.
And I've told creditors that, and tell them don't bother them. There are no assets of the estate.
Okay.
Yeah. There are plenty of people that use that.
Possible this afternoon with a high of 60.
Plenty of people.
Oh, I'm sure if they had really good credit right towards the end.
Yeah.
Wagner, 630 K-How.
I wonder how they look at that, credit card companies. If you apply for a credit card at 90, do they just decline you?
I don't know the answer to that. I think if he had assets, they'd probably be fine.
That's true, if he had assets.
Yeah.
Why, it shouldn't be?
No.
Well, I don't think so.
Drew said to do this one. Mark, I thought you meant give Daphne's phone number for him to call himself. I didn't know the guy was supposed to call into the show.
I did, I heard that.
It does,
He
he
said to
can
do
call
that
here
when
now.
coming out of the 12:15, because you got to do them once an hour.
I just did that one.
This is for the third hour.
Oh, the third hour. Oh, no, he said once per show, right? No, once per show.
Bruce asked.
True?
It's once per show. We went and talked to Tim, and he said once per show.
I get restless. All right, yeah, the traffic had it in here twice, so.
I don't care. I'll do whatever, but he just talked to him. So if it won't come back on you.
Okay.
And then if they say anything, I'll just start doing. I don't care. They're really easy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why your screen is blank. Dang it, Tom. I'm going to try again.
I would like to get Joe Lazara out of the goddamn. I mean, he's there too much. And please put somebody else in.
Okay, I'll tell Drew.
I would like the sleep apnea thing if it's around.
You're seeing the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. I'm sorry that some people are going to be inconvenienced. That's not our problem. We don't have to let you into the
Shit. This is a good one.
Weekday afternoons at 1 on 630 KO. Wake-up call. Denver's talk station.
Rates are still low. Save thousands and have lower payments. Financing or purchasing your new home, we have new loan programs that allow you to borrow.
What do you think about what happened with Bill O'Reilly?
I think he got screwed, man. Actually, he ended up very well, actually. He ended up getting the rest
You
of his
think
contract.
all those women who have risen to a certain level are all a bunch of
Oh, no, there's
liars?
definitely, where there's smoke, there's fire there.
It doesn't seem
These
like
are people who did, I mean, no. He's a pig.
I didn't say he wasn't a pig.
Well, so do you want him representing your network?
I think Fox shot themselves in the foot, man. They had the #1 guy on cable, and they fired him. I think if I held stock in that company, I'd sell it all.
Well, from an economic point of view, maybe it might be a mark that they couldn't sustain it if truly all those advertisers went away.
Oh, they showed it, man. He went from
nothing.
He went from, listen to this, he went from 17 minutes of advertising down to 6 minutes of advertising in a week.
The only thing is what I read was a lot of those advertisers weren't going to advertise on his show anymore, that they were going to basically change it over to other shows.
Okay, well,
So
when
they were-
revenue,
Yeah.
still when revenue is fungible, it still leaves a hole there no matter what.
Yeah, no matter
No
what.
matter
I
what.
understand.
So it's still, but he has to generate for that time.
Here's what gets me, though. You're an attorney, so going back to your original thought.
Yeah.
So even though this guy hasn't, nothing's been proven about him, all allegations, we should automatically throw him to the curb. That's where I disagree.
13 people?
I don't know how many there were.
I mean,
thought it was 5.
it grows every day.
But it always
And
grows.
you think they're all just
No, I
different?
didn't say that. I said where there's smoke, there's generally fire.
But you gotta,
But throwing
you
them
gotta
to
have
the
a
wolves.
public image, and if your public image is,
But people
we're gonna
that
have
watch
anybody
Bill
in,
Clinton.
Yeah, good one.
it's totally different.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not political. It's not political.
What are you talking
No,
about?
that's true. It's not political.
I'm not
Well,
political.
oh, of course not. But what I'm saying is, public. You said public image.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Denver's fine is already in the third hour.
No, it's
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. David Salisbury is with us, attorney at law, who does wills and probate and estates, estate planning. And as you know, we never have a single topic show. We talk about just anything you want. And, you know, I'd like to know right now how important you feel your cell phone is when it comes to commerce. Do you use it for a lot of transactions, or do you use your computer more? And I'm talking about buying and selling specifically. Are you using your smartphone? And I would like to know ways you use your smartphone. Maybe other people don't use it this way. I think someday it's going to be such an integral part of what we do. Really. I think that if you look at the statistics, more people are searching now through a cell phone than desktops, for sure. Or laptops, of course, office computers. I mean, we're on the go. And, you know, in some ways that's good. But, I mean, if you do a video and you want it to be seen, a lot of these videographers are a little distressed that their video is being seen on such a small screen as opposed to a big one and all of that. Of course, you have the artistic problems. And then the layouts of websites. We take a lot of time to lay out a website. But then what happens if that doesn't look good on a cell phone? So many people are doing apps now. Now there's a trend toward just mobile friendly and not doing a specific app. I'd like to know how you use your smartphone. 303-713-TALK. Tyler, welcome. What's going on with you, Tyler?
Hi, I have an issue with a toll company.
Okay. You're talking like a tow?
Toll.
Toll.
Like E470?
Got you. What's going on?
Can I say the company name?
Of course you can.
Northwest Parkway.
Yeah.
So they billed me for a license plate that I no longer own.
You know, now, I have to ask you, is it being used by someone else?
I forfeited it to the DMV at my county when I switched to a custom license plate.
Okay. And
so I called them.
And when you forfeited it, are these tolls after that date?
Yes. Yes, so I called Northwest Parkway and
by the way, do they recycle license plates? Do they send them to other people?
I don't know. They must, because the toll company said it was a Chevy, and I've never owned a Chevy.
I'm sure they're not going to charge you once you clear it up if you show them the car that you have.
That's the top level problem. The next problem is I called them and told them that I don't own that anymore, and they said, okay, we got to confirm with the DMV that that's not true. So they call the DMV, and then I get a bill a month later or something for the same thing. I call them up, and then they say, well, we were able to verify that this is your license plate. So I call the DMV, my local county.
It's not yours, right?
Yeah.
And what did DMV say?
The DMV, the lady said, I can't see that in the local system, the county system.
They must be using some kind of outdated system. Did you talk to E470 to the authority and ask them?
Yeah, I called them back after I had I talked to the Adams County lady, and then she goes, okay, well, we verified it with the state. Here's that number. So then I called that number, and they said, oh, we don't do that. Here's the number. And I talked to like 3 different people who claim it's not their department.
How much are you being charged, out of curiosity?
It originally started at about, let's see, $425. It's the latest bill I got is $870. I'm expecting the next one to be a collection notice.
Here's the important thing. That license plate does belong to someone.
Right.
So let's find out who it belongs to. I mean, it belongs to someone. And when you go on your E4, do you have an E470 account?
Yeah, I have like a transponder in both my cars. So usually when I take
did you go online to your account and disassociate that plate with your account?
I did, yes.
So it's not showing. It's not showing on your account.
Right.
Suzanne, do we have anybody with E470? Now, in the past, I've known them to be cooperative and to talk to us.
Yes, they have.
I think we need to talk to them. This sounds crazy. I mean, because Tyler, I'm telling you, man, they are very aggressive on collections too. But I don't know how that happens if you retired the plate. That's what I find puzzling. I don't know if they clean up the plates and redistribute them or use the numbers again. It's possible, but then what database are they using? If we do a VIN check of that number, Tyler, and we'll do that, if we take your license plate number, I'm wondering who it comes back as. You know, we can do that. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. There's no way they can hold you responsible if, in fact, it's not you. So it's just a matter of getting it straightened up. And these are the little frustrating problems that are a pain. I can't stand when things like this happen. All right, so we have David Salisbury with us again, attorney at law, about wills and trusts. And a continual problem we're having are people wanting to transfer their home to their children in some way, shape, or form. And they're doing all kinds of things. Now, I think you have to ask what your goal is first. what is your goal? If it's just to transfer ownership after death, there is one way to do it. And then it might be a goal that you want to get a loan, or you might want your son to get a loan, or your daughter to get a loan. There are all kinds of reasons you do things. But I want to go through the various ways to leave property, not just one way, but the various ways, and then how and why you do certain ways. Okay, that's what I want to do. Now, I want to ask David this. David, if I had a quitclaim deed. Now, for those listening, a quitclaim is a simple form that you fill out which gives your ownership to someone else. Now, you can quitclaim anything in the world because what you're saying is, to the extent that I own this, I'm giving you my rights to it. So I can literally quitclaim the Empire State Building to Mark, and I can file it. And what it says is, whatever Tom owns in the Empire State Building now belongs to Mark. It doesn't mean that I really own it. It doesn't mean it's free and clear. It doesn't mean that there's no loans on it. So a lot of people, sometimes they borrow money from friends and they say, well, I'll give you a quitclaim deed to my property. Well, that means nothing unless you verified that you were first in line and nothing else was behind you. But let's just talk about this notion of transferring homes, okay, and different ways of doing it. Quitclaim, if I had one that was filled out and dated but not filed with the county, and then my mom dies, can I file it right after she dies, and would it go back to the date on the quitclaim?
Under Colorado law, once you have signed a quitclaim deed, you've transferred the property. Even if it's not recorded? Even if it's not recorded. The recording is to protect you and to let the public know who actually owns property. Now, that doesn't work with the beneficiary deed when we get to that.
Let's not talk about that. But let's talk about one thing at a time. I wanted to ask this question then. And I'm not recommending this as a good thing. But let's say I quitclaim my home to my daughter, and I date it today. She holds it. And in 3 years, I'm killed in an accident or something. Can she then file it and claim ownership, or claim ownership right then?
Yeah, she could do that.
Okay, with a quitclaim deed.
With a quitclaim deed. Lawyers refer to it as a pocket deed. Now, you just put it in the pocket of the file until it's needed. Would she get
the basis of that home at the time of death or at the time that quitclaim was signed?
My position would be the date the quitclaim was signed.
Okay. So really a quitclaim deed is, whether you hold it or not, you're transferring the property.
Yes.
Okay. That's one way to do it. It's the easiest way, the most insecure way, and there's all kinds of problems with it, but a quitclaim is a way to transfer property. You don't have to have a dollar. People, make ridiculous little assumptions. You can simply quitclaim. It's a quit. Like, I quit my job. A lot of people say quick, but it is quick. But it's truly a quitclaim, meaning I am quitting my claim on this because I'm giving it to you. And that is what it's called. Quitclaim deed. All you do is fill it out. You can hold it or file it. And from that date forward, any ownership you have in that home belongs to whoever you quitclaim it to. But here's what's important. It's subject to any loans or liens. It does not get you out of any of that at all. So if there's a loan on there and it's due, or there's something, if you owe somebody money and they're coming after you and you quitclaim it, they can claim that you did an illegal transfer to avoid judgment. When you're in trouble, if you get rid of stuff prior to, 4 years? Is it a 4-year look back?
Are you talking about what?
Like when somebody comes after you, if you had transferred property in the prior 4 years, they take a close look at it, I believe.
I believe that it is the 4-year period.
Now, I think that the federal law is and I think state laws too, whatever it is, they can go back and look at any transfers you made prior to getting into trouble. Even if you did not transfer it to get out of trouble, if it's too close in proximity, in time span, to trouble, they assume that you may have done it to get out of trouble. So that's a very, very interesting thing to think about when you are getting rid of property. If someone is coming after you, they can look back 4 years to see what you did with your money. We got a lot more to talk about here, okay? Now listen, this is important. Matt wants to talk about a neighbor issue with trees and a fence line. Karen wants to talk about this license plate. She's having the same problem, so we definitely want to talk to her. We also have a few lines open, 303-713-TALK.
Is there a wireless network here?
Yes.
Which one is it?
Is there a what?
Oh, thank you.
You bet.
So this is what I've been doing here.
I like it. We need to make it a lot smaller.
Smaller? Okay.
I'll
So
put a little.
So I put everyone in except when we do over to David, I just have just David's on his. Just for the fact that it's too much.
Of course.
Okay.
But I'd make these
Very good.
almost like F down cut, so fit it all from Frank up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
With our unique cabinet research,
See what
they'll
it,
get that beautiful new kit, and without the messy and expensive replacement, and in a shorter time too.
Shorten it up or just have less into it? Oh.
I think it's going to be too smashed.
Okay, so go ahead and, okay.
You probably just got to redesign it, to
Very
be
good.
honest.
Okay, we can do that.
Moldy, smelly bath into awesome room.
I try to get his,
Whether it's a tub to shower conversion or a
website.
whole
Who is Marco?
our family business will make it special, just like we've done for decades.
Marco Bendinelli?
Folks, give us a call.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, someone on the board. We have someone on the board.
Counters and floors, with replacement windows and doors. We have our word, we'll treat you right at Dunlap.
Oh, nice show.
2295.
What's it say? What do you
So the sheet does a show here. Does he come right in to do it?
Just because you
Who? No, now I'm talking about somebody else. The sheet, he does a show right here. Greg.
Oh, Greg, yeah.
All day.
Yeah, he does it here on Saturdays.
Saturday nights.
Saturday. Have you listened to it? What's he think?
I thought, yeah, I've listened like for a half hour.
He's having some success, though. I mean, he has advertisers and all of that. That's good. It's really good these days.
A lot of restaurant stuff.
Well, no, there's no one else doing. I mean, all the old people that are doing it are getting older, and there's no one to take his place. You know.
I would say he brings a lot of people in the studio. A lot of restaurant people.
Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. 303-867-7777.
Yeah.
Headphones, please. IdealHomeLoans.com. Also on my referral list at referrals.com. 303-867-7000.
Ideal Home Loans is regulated by the Division of Real Estate, NMLS number 136756, call 303-867-7000. Example based on $250,000 loan amount, 32% DTI, 740 credit score, owner-occupied financing, 80% loan to value.
Hey, my sister Michelle loves the American pastime.
Glenn and Michelle, the sisters from Brothers.
I do love the boys of summer. Well, I think the real boys of summer work for Brothers. There are technicians swinging away day after day to keep our clients cool. Perfect time of year to call Brothers for an AC checkup. They'll run your unit through a comprehensive 25-point inspection. And your next utility bill won't look as though you're trying to cool your steel. Book your AC checkup today online at brothersplumbing.com.
Join us every Sunday at 9 a.m. for This Dream House. We discuss all the different ways to make your current home into your dream home. I'm host Kevin Draco, and each week I'll invite special guests in to talk about all the different ways to make your dream house come true. That's Sundays at 9 a.m. on 630 KHOW.
Welcome to Car Audio Corner, brought to you by your friends at Quality Auto Sound. This month's most requested question comes from Mike. Hey Mike, what's your question?
So if I buy a car stereo and speakers online, will Quality Auto Sound install?
Sure, Mike, but before you buy it online, may we suggest you compare Quality Auto Sound's one-stop total installed price first?
Why? Is it a lower price?
Absolutely, Mike. Quality Auto Sound guarantees the lowest total install price, whether you're comparing online or local prices. And Mike, it's always better to get your car audio and security gear and installation done at one shop. That way, if you need service down the road, all you have to do is visit your local Quality Auto Sound location.
So I buy local, save money, and the job is the best brand at the lowest installed price.
Yep, that's Quality Auto Sound, Mike.
We are adding the westward.
And visit QualityAutoSound.com to chat with us live for internet-only discount coupons and to find the location nearest you.
QualityAutoSound.com.
Pat Miller's Daddy Green. Cinco de Mayo is just around the corner, so that means we'll be celebrating one better on Adam's. That's this Saturday, 1 to 2 on 630 KHOW.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably
Kramer says buy Bank of America. Kramer buy Bank of America.
Oh. Oh, he says to buy it? Yeah, he said that yesterday. Kramer? Oh, that Kramer. For your advertising company, I think it should be Kramerica.
It's probably taken.
Let's see what we got here.
Kramer. Are you a Seinfeld fan, David?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a smart man now.
Oh, yeah.
Even though...
You know who that is.
But, ooh.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Karen, you are having the same problem as this guy who called Tyler with his plate and E470?
I actually resolved it.
How did you resolve? First of all, was it the same problem? Were they actually saying that it was your plate?
Yes.
Was it an old plate?
No, it was a current plate. So,
it was your plate.
It was the same numbers. Yes.
Wait a minute. There was someone.
They issued it twice.
No fooling.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you figure that out?
So what I asked E470 to do was to email me the photo that they take of the license plate in the car. And I said, that's not my car, that's not my plate.
That's the same with him, right?
Okay. And so I took the emailed picture, I took it to my local DMV, I happen to be in Jefferson County, went in there in person, asked to speak to a supervisor. They determined in their system I had the plate that was the traditional green and white, and the other person had it's kind of the blue and white.
Okay,
with the Colorado emblem on them.
Yeah.
And they had the identical number. And so at that point, you know, they were a little bewildered that it had been issued twice. They're in two different systems. So they need to look in more than one of their systems to determine if it has been reissued. They determined that the other person had that number before I did. So my plates were canceled. They gave me new plates at no cost, and we moved on from there.
Wow, but what did you do about the toll? They just dismissed it?
They got a hold of E470. They called on my behalf and discussed it with E470.
Oh my God! To get somebody from motor vehicle to do that for you. If Tyler goes into a motor vehicle office, it would be wonderful if they would do that for him. But I mean, it just seems.
If he takes in the picture of the plate that was violated and his plate, and look at them side by side.
Well, now his plate, you understand, that plate was turned into DMV, so he doesn't have that plate anymore. He has a totally different car, but the same thing would happen. If he shows the picture of that plate and they run it right there in front of him and see it's not him, maybe they will do the same thing for him.
Yeah, have him talk to a supervisor, not just the person at the counter. Somebody that will solve the problem.
Just out of curiosity, did you have to go take a number to talk to a supervisor, or did you say I need to speak to a supervisor?
I actually did take the number. I talked to the person at the counter, and I asked for a supervisor.
How long did you have to wait?
Not long, because I had a very unique problem, so it was 10 minutes maybe.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I often wonder how people can stand it. I finally did it, but it took so long. I actually waited one afternoon, and they have to send people home. Do you know that in the afternoon, if they close at whatever time, if they have too many people, even though you waited, you have to leave, even if you waited. And then I went back the next day. I went back 20 minutes before the door opens, and there were 40 people in front of me. Josh, what's going on? Josh.
Hello, I have a question about buying a pop-up camper.
Cool. They're very cool nowadays, man. I don't know if you're talking about a used one, but the new ones are really, really space-aged. I mean, they're sleek, they're aerodynamic.
Sure.
Yeah.
For a used one, and I'm curious what people do to get them checked out, like buying a used car.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the price of a used car.
Good question. Good question. Because what you have is the mechanism, you have the chassis, and then you have the operations. If they have any plumbing or any electric? That is a very good question, Josh. I'll tell you what I would do. I would go to probably an RV place, and I'll tell you, I would go to the one that we have. I think they're great. And it's Century, by the way, Century RV. They have a service department, and I think they would do a pre-purchase exam. Let's ask Suzanne. Well, hold on, though, Josh. That's providing you could get it there. Would somebody let you take it for a pre-buy? That's the thing.
What I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the problem. If you had it sitting there, you would have to pull it to this place to get it checked. That would be the challenge. So I don't know if you're going to buy it from a dealer or from an owner. That's a different thing. But that's a good question. You would have to pull it there. Somebody would have to trust you to do it. How much are you talking about? What price range?
The one we're looking at is about 8,000, 9,000 used.
See, I would love to. That is a good topic. Ask SOS Inspections or Auto MDs. They do pre-buys on cars. I wonder what they would say. They could probably do the chassis, the wheel bearings, and all of that stuff. And then I don't know what you would do for the systems. You would have to have some knowledge. You'd have to do the mechanism and have somebody look at it or bring someone with you. Josh, you really have brought up something that I have not actually ever heard before, really. Believe it or not. You know, motorhomes, you can drive there. When you get a trailer like this, it's a challenge. What would you do to check it out? Mark, what would you do if you were going to buy a pop-up?
I'd probably bring it to...
But you'd ask to tow it somewhere to look at it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Josh, hold on. We're going to ask a couple people. Suzanne, let's ask Century RV if they have a way of checking something out. Are there any mobile RV services? That would be excellent. Or let's ask SOS Inspections. Okay, so I'd like to ask Norris at SOS Inspection. He does pre-buy on vehicles. What would he suggest for an RV? Also, let's ask if Steve up at Century RV, like if somebody wants to do a pre-buy, would they do that? And then, Josh, what you would do is you'd have to arrange with the seller to get it there. Either you pull it or they pull it. I imagine if somebody's serious about selling something, they're going to allow you to check it out. Now, Matt, what's going on with your fence and your trees? Matt, are you there, sir? I don't know if he's there. I don't want to hang up on him. Matt, I'm just gonna hold. Just see if line 4 is there. Hi, Lisa. What's going on, Lisa?
Hi.
Okay.
Glad to check my call. I had a porch enclosed in my yard, and I had to put a 3-foot deep footer around the edge of the porch.
Right.
And they cut the cement off my regular porch and dug the trench, and they cut my sprinkler line while they were digging the trench. And then the guy goes,
did they locate it before they did the work?
I don't. No, they cut the sprinkler line. They look down the hole and they go, "We cut your sprinkler line." And I go, "Are you going to splice it?" And
what did they do?
No.
How did they know they wouldn't cut other important things? Did they have anyone come out to locate anything?
No, they cut my electrical to my garage.
Are you kidding? Well, they got to fix it. It's that easy.
They fixed the electrical to my garage, but my sprinkler system. I looked down on the hole and I said, "Are you going to splice it back together?" And they said, "No, you got to get a sprinkler repair person to do that." And I was like, "Well, there's a big trench around my yard right now, around my porch. It's really dangerous. I mean, I'm not going to leave that until I can find a sprinkler person." So I just had them finish the work. But I'm like,
well, wait a minute. You had them finish it except for that area. You opened.
No, it was. The way you walk.
Did you have them cover it up?
They poured the trench in, and it's done.
Lisa.
And, I mean, because I was like, I can't have this open hole in front of my house.
I'm confused, Lisa. I'm confused.
Yes.
You said the sprinkler line was broken. You said they wouldn't fix it, and you told them to go ahead and finish the job.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
What does that mean? Does that mean you left the sprinkler line broken?
Right.
What? You let it? Well, that's ridiculous. Now you have an open line underground.
Right.
Why did you do that?
Because it was like dangerous.
Well, no. I mean, somebody could have come and fixed that.
You think?
I know.
Okay.
I know somebody could have fixed it. Now they're going to have to find it and dig all that up again.
Right.
So what were you calling about, by the way? To find someone to do
wondered
that?
If that was normal practice. It just seemed like
Lisa.
they could have spliced that back together.
Lisa.
Right then. It would have taken 10 minutes. Yeah.
Lisa, maybe. But maybe they didn't feel like they were qualified to do it. They're kind of right in that they are not responsible for broken stuff like that in a way, because there's no way to really dig. And like if they may have asked, do you have a diagram of your sprinkler system and all that? But all the subcontractors, all the contractors I know say, look, we're not responsible for anything that we break, and you really can't hold them responsible. But they should do a locate for gas and electric, and that's why they probably fix that one. But when it comes to sprinklers, it's usually the homeowner's responsibility. But the fact that they wouldn't fix it, that's fine. You could have had somebody come out and do it. But to have them just cover it up, man, did you cost yourself a lot of money.
That just doesn't make sense.
They just left that section open, yeah.
There's a couple of slow spots in the drive across the
Does that make sense to anyone?
No, you'd have left that hole open so someone could just, I mean, it would take 10 minutes to slice it in.
Wide open, southbound.
Yes, sir.
Who's changing this for me?
Spot between Parker and I-25. Up in the high country.
Is that enough there, Mark, you think?
Semi-crash, crews are on the scene trying to get that cleared. Traffic is
If I get any thinner than that.
Corey, listen, bud, I'm going to just take down the whole chat then. We talked to someone yesterday. We want to talk to you. You have to email me, Corey, from yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Would you tell him to email me?
Yeah, Corey, get in touch with us. Email us. We want to help.
It's also the place with national brands like Sun, Miracle Grow, Ortho, and Roundup, and the local expertise you need to grow lawn and garden with always good. Stop by Ace today to stock up on everything you need for the season.
You know, so many people.
Where are we at? We're on more season. Open the bear, but oh, he's saying a bunch of stuff? Or? Holy cow.
The other side will always try to minimize your claim. The other side will always try to make you feel greedy or not entitled. You need someone who will fight for you. If it's someone else's fault, you should be paid. I mean, after all, if you broke someone's window at a house or you ruined their car, they expect you to pay for it. It's not something you can ever do on your own. So if you have a serious case, John Fuller will tell you and fight for you. 303-597.
I don't want to do that.
Here's the deal. Don't let someone get away with it. If they injure you, you have all kinds of losses. You can't work. You have problems as a result. His website, johnrfuller.com. johnrfuller.com. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. Look to John Fuller on my referral list at referralist.com.
If you have knee arthritis, don't be tempted or forced into surgery just because you've been told to bone on bone. If you want options other than surgery, finding a doctor who's focused on referring or eliminating the need for a total knee replacement is key. Because knee replacement is major surgery with all the risks and complications of bleeding or infections. So we ask, wouldn't it make more sense to try proven and less invasive procedures before having surgery? The osteal relief and taking care of high-tech medicine using laser-guided video imaging with a series of 15-minute physician-administered joint cushioning treatments. This non-surgical method for knee arthritis relief is getting rave reviews all over town. Not a another method of faith. If you have arthritis pain in your knee, call Osteal Relief to see if you have a chance at getting pain-free. 800-578-KNEE. Most major insurances and Medicare cover the procedure. 800-578-KNEE to schedule your risk-free screening. 800-578-KNEE-5633.
There's absolutely no reason why right now.
David, what else is going on in your life, sir? Is everything good, I hope?
Okay.
You going traveling this summer? Are you going to do anything fun?
Well, you know, my mother lives in Nashville now near my sister, and my vacations are generally going to see her.
It's hot there, too, isn't it?
In the summer, it's humid, just like where I grew up.
Florida.
No, I grew up in Virginia, on the coast of Virginia. So, I'm going to do that, and I'm hoping that my girlfriend and I can take a real vacation at some point. I heard about your vacations. They sound fun.
Yeah, we haven't done anything. We were thinking about the other day, we haven't gone anywhere in 3 years.
But you two need to go away by yourselves every once in a while.
No, everybody does.
Even if it's just like a long weekend or
3 years was a long time for us.
Yeah, it is.
3 years ago, we did 3 weeks in Punta Cana, 10 days in Vegas, and then a week and a half in Mexico, all in the same summer.
All with the kids?
No, Vegas, Mexico was us.
Okay.
Punta Cana, but like this time when we go to Mexico, I just got two rooms. They'll have their own room.
Right.
It's all inclusive. They can go do whatever they want, as long as they don't leave the compound.
Okay.
I don't need any kidnappings.
Really?
I'll bring the muscle.
Yeah. Kidnapping suck. Got to pay money.
The whole thing sucks. Nothing ever comes good out of a kidnapping.
No. Even if you get them back, it's costing money.
The easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Burnout scene, another time, another town.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. Suzanne, you have a question that came in through email?
Actually, the lady called and couldn't hold but said she'd be listening. She wanted to know if her grown kids are the beneficiary to her life insurance, are their spouses entitled to that money they get as well?
Say that again? No.
So if their grown
Yeah,
children
right.
are the beneficiaries to her life insurance.
They're grown children and they're beneficiaries to the life insurance. Got
Yes.
it?
When she dies and they get that money, do their spouses get that money as well? Are they entitled to that money, like half?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all, no. Hold on. Specifically, it's not even marital property in that case, David. I know cases like this where in a divorce, for example, somebody was due an inheritance, and it was like $100,000, right? And the wife says, well, that's ours, but it was specifically left to one or the other. And it's not. I mean, that's not necessarily a trust or an estate question, but have you seen cases like that, David, where somebody gets an inheritance and a
No.
spouse claims it?
No, not an inheritance.
Nope. In premarital property, a specific gift or inheritance to that person is theirs. It's
And
theirs.
life insurance benefits are...
We had a case where, and Bonnie Shields helps us with all of this, of course, our divorce expert and attorney. We had a case where parents gave a house, bought a house, and gave it to their daughter. The marital couple moved into it. Now they're getting divorced. Husband says, that's half mine. No, it's not. The increase in value is marital property. And remember this, even when something is marital, it's not automatically half and half. So, David, what about if somebody is in a will and they die? Does it go to their estate? If somebody has left something in a will, an heir dies, an heir is dead.
Okay, so someone dies, and then their child or whoever dies after them. Is that what you're asking? Because
somebody dies and leaves something to John.
Okay.
John, but John dies first. Okay, he's dead.
Okay.
But he's in their will.
Okay.
And they didn't change the will.
Well, there's magic language you put in the will where you say everything goes equally to my children by representation. That means if John's dead, but he has children, his share would go to his children. That's not automatic. You've got to put the right words in there to make that happen.
Or it could be then, if it's split among 4 children, let's say, and one child dies, it's not automatic that that child, or excuse me, whatever, it could be an adult, but that heir gets his estate, gets it. It's not automatic.
No, it's not.
It could go to the other 3.
It could just be divided in thirds.
So you have to be very specific.
You have to
when you're
make
leaving
sure the
something.
language is in the will.
So if that person doesn't get it, okay. So people, I hope you have questions you can come up with. Now, Matt, I'm sorry, there you are. I tried to get you on the wrong line before. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I share a fence line with a neighbor behind me, and he has several trees on his property.
Now, do you share a fence or a fence line?
A fence.
Now, who put the fence up?
Before either of us bought the house.
Gotcha. I got it. Now what?
So the house was built, the fence was put up probably in 97.
Okay.
He bought the house in 2001.
Okay.
So his trees are growing kind of over to my property, and many of the bigger branches are damaging the fence.
Okay.
They're resting on top of it, causing the pickets to blow out.
Sure.
Or they're pushing against the fence. Now,
Sure.
I've done a tremendous amount.
It's his responsibility to maintain his tree so it doesn't do damage to common property.
Okay.
It's that easy.
And I have asked him to kind of help or work on the trees, or we need to figure this out. I've tried to have like conversations on how we can do this. I've cut down all the branches that are hanging over my side that I can reach. Now everything else is way too high or way too big.
And unfortunately, it's a matter of practicality.
We had one this morning. Remember, I was asking you about it.
Now, here's the deal. If you hired a service to trim it back and to save the fence or to protect the fence, you can do that. But can you get him to pay for it? No, not necessarily, if he doesn't agree to it. So it's really a problem when neighbors can't come to an agreement.
The fence is still standing, part thanks to what I've done to it, or to the trees, but if it pushes the fence over, do I have any recourse to make him replace the fence?
Yes. You would go to small claims court. You would claim that your fence, even though it's a joint fence, that the fence was destroyed by his negligence. Yes. You would document now what's going on, take pictures, and have ammunition for when that happens. Is that what you were going to say, David?
Yeah, I was saying take those pictures and date them so you know when it occurred.
And any correspondence that you send to him that goes unanswered or where he refuses, put things in writing. Man, when you do that, when the time comes, Matt, it would be really advantageous to you and you'd probably win. I'm Tom Martino. We got more coming up.
Consumer advocate Tom Martino. It's finally time for some spring cleaning, so let's get those back tax issues cleaned out once and for all. Feel the fresh spring breeze without the mental burden of a tax lien or the IRS looking at your
Here's this guy. Ronaldo is the best.
Where's that? Facebook?
Yeah.
My friend Chris. Larson tax relief.
He's always watching.
It says RV Medic in Colorado Springs provides a service of checking out campers.
Ooh, that's cool.
Before buying.
And he's mobile.
Relief. I trust Ron and Jack Larson and their team of experts to get you the absolute best possible solution. Get your
So David, are you a good Seinfeld trivia guy?
Pretty damn good.
Are you?
No way.
I bet you
Pretty
we
damn
okay. Because Tom thinks he's pretty good. Tom is pretty good. He
What's
does. Seinfeld trivia.
What did Kramer invent that he dropped out the window to test it?
I endorse on my referralist.com.
A very high window, too, like 4 stories up.
And it's used by everything now.
Not the air conditioner. There was a point where the air conditioner fell.
Yeah, it's on the dog.
He created a bladder system for oil liners
After the Valdez.
right after the Valdez happened.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
So he filled up this big balloon with oil, and he dropped it out of the window, and it hit some lady.
But remember in George, when Elaine grabbed George's toupee he had gotten and threw it out the window, and you see later it's just like bum walking around.
That was so funny when you go, I hate this thing!
And then in that same one, the woman who was bald, that he didn't want to date, ended up dumping him now that he didn't have the toupee because he was bald.
Do you see the irony?
Okay, I'm not that good.
That's right. Do you see the irony here?
Just signed by President Trump. He's calling for a review of monument designations made by his predecessors.
By the way, who was one of the investors in Seinfeld that got a big payoff? I think he got a big payoff when they sold it into syndication.
Oh, wow. Well, Larry David?
Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon?
Really?
As in Trump administration?
Yeah, he used to He used to produce movies in
I had no idea.
Hollywood. He was yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was a big Hollywood guy at one time.
In fact, Banyan was named after Steve Bannon.
Yeah, right.
It's amazing if you look back on the trivia stuff or the book on it, how each person got their name.
Did you know there was a Superman in every episode?
So I'm looking at that now.
What, in every episode of...
Every single episode of Seinfeld, you'll see a thing of Superman. It's usually on Jerry's counter, but even if they're out of... It doesn't matter where they are, it's in every episode.
It's usually over by his stereo and stuff, that thing.
It's usually in his apartment.
But there also has a picture on his refrigerator. You know how he's got all that stuff on his refrigerator? There's a picture of Superman on there quite a few times. Oh, that's crazy, all the stuff that they did.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. It's also the place with national brands like Scott's,
It's a great show.
Oh.
and Roundup, and the local
And it's a show you can watch over and over, and you pick up something new every time.
Yep.
We all know how important it is to our physical health.
You got to have a great ensemble cast
Oh.
to make a show that
And they got to
good
hit it.
and to give it longevity.
Right.
Because people have, you know, they have people they like, people they don't like, and it keeps them watching the show.
There are a couple boring shows.
Oh, yeah.
I think the worst show is that backward show, I thought. You know, where she
Oh, yeah.
got married in India and stuff. You remember that one?
I like the backward show.
Actually, the last show, for me, was the worst one.
Really?
See, I
thought that was
liked the
horrible.
last one because they brought everybody in.
Oh, that was funny in court, but I mean the actual end. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
like
I see what you're
resolution.
saying. How, you know.
Yeah, Babu, Jabby,
Oh,
very,
My favorite,
Very bad, man.
the very last part of the last show, after the break and they come back to that last 20 seconds, when he's in jail, he's in prison, Jerry is, up in front of all these people doing his show.
Yeah.
It's funny as
That's
hell.
right. You in Cell Block 6.
Yeah, that's right. He's from Cell
I'll
Block.
speak a little slower.
It's funny, the Good Samaritan, because let me tell you, they were far from the Good Samaritan in any damn way.
Right.
Ever.
That means you can buy a $300,000 house.
They're just joking. It's so easy to rob a fat man. What's he going to do? Can't chase you.
Tom got us on this one.
Yeah, this is
So
a
they
good one.
describe, you know, people describe gay people kind of like this.
Many times they describe gays, had gay things in it.
So Jerry said, why describe them like this? They should be described this way. And he does a gesture. Can you remember what it is?
No.
They're talking the whole episode how people think Gary's gay because he's so neat and tidy. So Jerry goes, why do they describe gay people like this? It should be like a vacuum like this because we're neat and tidy. God, I didn't pick up on that too. I literally had to go back and read the script on that because I did not remember that. And somehow he knew that.
I had these two guys who were clients. It's been some years ago. Nice guys. And my wife and I actually went out with them socially a few times. They were fun people. We always pretty much thought they were probably a gay couple. They lived together and everything. But, you know, you can't always be sure.
Yeah, you don't
And so
know.
one day they picked us up, and first thing they did was put a Cher CD in. And I looked at my wife like, okay, we now know
It's over.
It's over. We've got our decision.
Yeah, no kidding.
Cher has some good songs.
She did, but I don't have any CDs. Let's
Oh,
put it
that's
that way.
a CD?
Yeah.
I don't have any. Yeah.
Custom mattresses shipped right to your door for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to helixsleep.com.
Yeah, if they like Judy Garland, Barbara Streisand. Actually,
Judy
Barbara
Garland.
Streisand's pretty damn
Was she
good.
gay?
No, but she was a big, for whatever reason.
Like that.
Yeah.
You remember Cher and Sonny and Cher show?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a pretty funny show.
That's old school.
Oh.
Didn't he die skiing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
ran into a tree or
Yeah.
something?
And, you know, he was a congressman.
Yeah.
And I think his wife took over for a while.
Oh, did she
I
very well
think
could have.
she got elected to his seat.
Jeez, that's amazing.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. What's on your mind and how can we help you? It's a question I've been asking for nearly 40 years, and that's what we love to do. We have decided to use media for the good of others rather than promoting specific agendas. And also, by the way, we don't do much in the way of news and information unless it has to do with your money and your pocketbook and your finance. So we do a great job of informing you, but remember, this is not a news program. So what I want to know is, what do you do with your cell phone? I'd like to ask people how important it is to them. Is it important enough that if you leave it at home, you'll go back for it? Oh, yeah. It's got to be, for me, as important as a wallet.
Not for Deputy Dan.
It is every bit as important to me as a wallet. Our guest today, David Salisbury, attorney at law. He does estate law and wills and all that. And we're talking about that if you have any questions. David, is your phone important enough, like a wallet? Is it?
Excuse me.
Especially being
Yeah,
a
it
lawyer.
is. And real quickly, I read an article about some of the economies in Africa that are doing well, and they did a study, and they assumed that their computer was the thing that was driving their success. And they found out it wasn't that. It was their cell phone. Because they were mobile, they could talk to people anytime, they could do deals on the phone. So it's interesting, and a simple answer for me is, yeah, my phone's very important to me.
Yeah. I think that phones nowadays are as important to people as wallets.
Dan actually left his at home today and did not go back
Really?
for it.
Well, you know,
Deputy
that's amazing. That is amazing. Folks, Jerry's got a question for David Salisbury, and I want to mention we have lines open at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Okay. You talked something about a transfer took place. Well, here's the situation.
What we're doing is we were talking about various ways to transfer property before death or after death, various different ways. Go ahead.
Okay, anyway, my mother-in-law gave a deed to her house to my wife on July 27th, 2009. And it's never
what kind of deed is it?
A warranty deed.
So did she buy it?
No, just gave it to her.
So he signed a warranty deed to her.
My mother-in-law signed a warranty deed to my wife.
Oh, yeah, she did it to her. For what reason?
Well, I don't remember. It's been so long ago, and it was never recorded.
Okay.
So now, is that the date of the transfer?
Yes, it is.
July
But listen, it will not count. If it must be of record to count against the property, I believe, if there are people coming after our property. In other words, are there any other liens?
No.
Okay, then she better record it.
Then here's the reason. We right now she's in a nursing home. She's 99 and she's running out of money.
Record the deed.
Record it, even though it's this old. We can record it.
Of course you can. David Salisbury.
So is she getting Medicaid? Is
No.
Medicaid's not paying for the nursing home?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, because
this is going to be a real problem. Here's why. They're going to think you backdated it and then filed it because there's a 5-year look back. David, explain the look back, what that is.
Okay. If you transfer property and then you apply for Medicaid, you have to do that at least 60 months before you actually will become eligible for Medicaid.
And that's to prevent people from being poor on paper.
Right, right. And so they'll treat it as if she still owned it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that would be discounted, even though it was done that many years ago. What year was it was done?
2009.
Yeah, they're not going to consider that. I'll bet you if she records it now, and then your mom or her mom, whatever, has to go on social services or Medicaid, they're going to say, that ain't going to work. They're going to say you guys are manufacturing a backdate.
I think I would hold on to it. So it has been legally transferred. So if you have to fill out the Medicaid application, you can legally say that. If they said, "Don't you own real estate?" you could say no.
Oh,
that would be,
I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
and that would be the truth, and that dates back to 2009.
Then it would be up to them to prove if you backdated it or
Right.
not. They're going to challenge it, though, Jerry. But I do think David's right. In this case, if you did record it, it would look like you were trying to backdate it. But if you just keep it, as always, and she says she does not own real estate,
that's true.
The problem is she does own of record. That's the problem. If they do a search, they're going to find she owns a home. Is there any loan on this home?
No.
What's the house worth?
About $400,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think David's right. If this was truly done, was it notarized?
Absolutely, it was.
Okay.
Foregoing words.
Okay.
It was the
Okay, bro.
college-
Then you got it. If you have it notarized, that notary could testify it was done in 09.
Oh yeah, it's her stamp and everything. Is
Then-
on there, and the date it expires and everything.
Okay, well then I think you have a really good case, don't you, Mark? Yep. I think in any other case, it looks artificial. We have had so many cases where people claim when they're doing a bankruptcy that they owe money to somebody, that they paid them back, or they had other debts, and in a divorce, a woman will say, my mom bought it from me, or I owe my mother money, so when we sell the house, we're not going to split it half and half because my mom loaned us money. There's all kinds of phony things people do and try to backdate it. But the one difference here is you actually have a notary. Now, I'm not saying notaries are gold and won't lie, but man, they run a risk of big trouble if they do. So go ahead.
See, here's the thing. It's that my commission expires 4/16/2013. So this thing here it's clean. It's very, very
okay.
clean.
All right. Well, then when she has to apply for Medicaid, she's going to answer that she transferred that house back in 09.
Okay, so we gotta. They'd have a hard time taking it from us, is what you're saying.
Right.
Right. Jerry, I think I would probably tell you after she's eligible for Medicaid, then you might want to record it, just so it's of record when she dies.
Right.
The other thing about it is...
After she gets Medicaid.
Yes.
So don't record it until she gets Medicaid?
Just to avoid any kind of complications. Clearly you've legally done it. Clearly it's more than 60 months, so she doesn't have to declare it as property of hers.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm afraid her and my brother-in-law would get involved, and they would say...
Well, let me ask you this. Is someone going to come after that house other than Medicaid? Let's say that Medicaid, well then who's going to get involved then? If no one is... I was worried that she had some brothers or sisters that might say, we want some of that house.
I think my brother-in-law would be tend to apt to want to do that.
Well, that's what I just asked, Jerry. Is there anyone else that would come after the house other than Medicaid? And you said no. So now you're telling me the brother would possibly come after the house.
Yes, because of his wife. I just thought of that.
Okay, well then be prepared for that. You're going to have to fight him. He's going to claim that mom did not mean to do that, and it should go to both of you, both of them. You know, it should go to his sister and himself.
And he couldn't argue that she was incompetent, I assume.
Oh, that would be way out of the question.
Okay, just asking.
So listen, you at least have something. You have it notarized. I think right now you're in good shape. But when you record it, it's going to cause a fight. Is there a will, Jerry?
So don't record
Is there a will, Jerry?
No, the house doesn't deal with the will.
Is there a will?
I don't know.
Okay, that was the question. Whether the house deals with it or not, you better hope it doesn't. Because if the will says something different than the deed just happened, you have a problem.
Okay.
So if there's a will and the will doesn't agree with what just happened with that deed, then that brother is going to have a reason to contest.
So, but right now what you're telling me is don't record the deed until after she goes on Medicaid.
Now, this is not legal advice. This is personal advice. There's a difference. Let me tell you why. Right now, if you legally transferred that property in '09, then she can legally say she does not own property and has not owned property for the last 5 years because it was transferred prior to that. So if that's the truth, the reason we're saying not to record it is because it looks like you're trying to sneak it in before she goes on Medicaid. It just looks bad. And what David is saying is you simply hold your head high and say, she did this in '09 and here it is. Don't try to record it. And then, after they approve her for Medicaid, then you record it. Not for Medicaid, but for other vultures that might come in and try to take the house. That is exactly what we're saying, okay?
Okay, so
All right.
we'll just hold off recording this thing.
That's exactly what we said about 6 times. 303-713-8255. Diana has a problem with Big O Tire. She said she got scammed, or we're going to talk about that coming up. I want to tell you about Wink and Wink bankruptcy attorneys. I hope you never need them. But if you do, the time to look at your debt is now. Don't wait. It only gets worse. They might be able to do a settlement to keep you out of bankruptcy. Give them a call, 303-410-1720, winkandwink.com.
From the L&L Heating
and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Ace.
Crews are still on the scene of that earlier crash westbound I-70 at Beaverbrook. It remains closed. They're trying to get that debris cleared up from that semi-crash from this morning. No estimated time when the highway will reopen. Traffic is being taken on and off the highway at that location. Eastbound is not affected by the closure at this time. In fact, all lanes of eastbound I-70 at Beaverbrook are wide open. Back in town, watch out for crash northbound Lincoln at Fifth
I
Avenue.
still find it so sad that Joni Cunningham died in a trailer park and broke.
Right now, partly
Really?
skies in Denver.
I guess, what was her name? Because I guess I've seen what was her real name?
Joni? I don't know.
Because I remember seeing that, and she could look like that. But I didn't
She was
realize.
a big-time drug addict.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Scott Baio came out and said he feels really bad, but man, she just couldn't get off.
Are you blaming Fonzie?
It's all because of Fonzie and that reverse mortgage. Look at this rip-off report. Guess who's on it, Tom? Springs Auto and Truck Service Center.
They really are?
Unneeded repairs, overbilled, deceptive. I'd never use these creeps again.
Wow, where'd you get? Okay, holy cow.
I'll have an attorney for him probably tomorrow. We'll get the suit filed.
That's going to be the easiest job that attorney ever had.
Oh, wait till they see the court costs and the attorney's fees.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are going to get buried.
So that'll go through county court, I take it.
Yep.
Is this the year you finally fixed up your tired bathroom in your home? Well, this is Peter with Mr. Dino's Bathroom.
I cannot believe
Trump's executive order could dismantle national monuments.
Bathrooms uses a solid surface material for your.
You okay with that?
Well, let's see. Which monuments do I want to keep?
Well, they can privatize them?
I'll keep Rushmore. I like that. I've been there.
Oh, no, come on, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Have you
know,
ever been there, Dan?
I could see a mega liquor
I haven't,
store
so
right
I don't
there.
care. Just let it go. Any others you want to let go?
Let's see.
How about some national parks like Yellowstone?
Well, you say monuments.
First of all, I like Jellystone National Park much better than Yellowstone.
Okay, boo-boo.
How about, where else could we cut back here? You know what? I could see a Trump casino in Yellowstone, though.
Oh, that'd be a great idea.
Is the St. Louis Arch anything, or is that just a St. Louis thing?
I don't know if that's a national monument or not.
I think it is.
I don't know. It's the gateway to the West.
See, I've never been there either, so I don't care. Get rid of that.
So we can put a casino underneath it.
That would be funny. Actually, we could race cars under it.
Good idea.
I'd like to get my drone and fly it up around that thing. That'd be kind of cool.
And we could actually make the wall a national monument.
Oh yeah, the wall. Why do we need any other national monuments?
Which wall?
The wall that we're building.
Between Mexico and Mr.
Oh.
That will be the monument.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
David Pillsbury, we're going we were going to go to the Grand Canyon, but now we're going to the wall.
We're going to the wall.
You know what? You have to drive all the way around to get, past the canyon.
Oh, it's crazy.
So I say just fill the fucker in, do it over, put a road.
Whoa.
That way they can just go from one side to the other.
Turn it into the world's largest reservoir.
You like that? Maybe just put trash in there. It would take forever.
No, he's got it. Landfill.
And the Hoover Dam is all about socialism.
Oh, I hate that Hoover Dam.
Oh yeah, I don't know how many towns are, but you give them notice, and then you just knock the thing down. Let the water go where it wants to go.
Yeah, who says you should pen up God's water anyhow? Where does this come from?
Give it back to Colorado.
Yeah.
Why are these creeps getting our water?
I know, that water law. Oh,
that's serious.
That's serious.
You know, you can now legally collect rainwater.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. According to recent studies, and of course for all my email critics who love to email me, I have a special folder for you because I don't cite the studies. I don't give exact percentage. I'm just saying I read and read and read. Narcissism is one of our country's #1 problem, or top problems. Not the #1, but one of our top problems, narcissism, and that parents are building narcissists with their children. Now, I think the term narcissist is overdone. I really do. I believe a lot of people are strong and not necessarily narcissistic, but I do think that there is a sense of narcissism. And they say, now listen to this, guess what the other problem is that is caused by narcissism? They say there are 2 problems plaguing our country. This is a psychologist. 2 problems. And let me just get the study. But do you know what the other one is? Depression. Narcissism and depression. Now, they're 2 different things. One said that depression is the #1. Let me find it. The #1 reason right now. Come on, where is it?
For depression?
No. Depression is the #1 reason for loss of work. I don't know why this is not coming up. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Depression is the #1 cause of illness and disability worldwide. The World Health Organization says that depression is the #1 cause of illness and depression worldwide. The #1 cause, leading to not only non-productivity, but death. I'm trying to read through this, okay. And it says the World Health Organization says that there's a campaign now to focus on depression and help people. It's called Let's Talk. Depression, Let's Talk. Here's the deal. They say many people suffer from depression and never, ever talk about it because they don't know who to talk to, how to talk. They're often ashamed, or they don't understand what they're feeling. And that, I think, you know how many people we've had over the years depressed call us? Oh, it doesn't necessarily manifest itself as depression. They call with a problem, and then we see something's up, or they say something's up, or they burst out in tears. We have gotten a lot of people help, really. We've helped people on drugs even, with rehab. So, we're a consumer show, but people often feel, hey, we can call them about this or about that. Look at the woman we talked to the other day. I don't want to say too much, but she was having a terrible time with her son. Didn't your heart go out to her?
Of course.
And she wanted us to help?
Yeah.
We love helping people. So if you're depressed, World Health Organization says, hey, you're in good company. Really. And I mean that. I don't mean to belittle it. What I'm saying is there are times that depression is warranted. In fact, if you weren't depressed, I'd think there was something wrong with you.
I got a question for you.
So anybody depressed, and I'm serious now, I'm not kidding, feel free to call us at any time.
How about the really...
303 Martino, anytime. 303 Martino. Yes, well.
The really, really poor. So let's take someone maybe in Africa that literally lives in a hut village.
Okay.
They don't even know of the outside world like where we live.
Okay.
Do you think they get depressed as well? Or our society has created different issues?
Well, there have been studies on that too. The more simplistic the society, the happier.
Yeah, I agree.
And the less complicated. And that also, depression is usually among smarter people. And I shouldn't say smarter, it's a bad term.
No,
but,
that's correct.
Higher intelligence.
Yeah.
Like people who are more simple. And I mean, listen, people aren't equal. I can say this.
Is that why you're always happy?
Yeah, probably. There are people who, more intelligent people seem to get depressed because they think too much. Okay? That's an easy way to put it. More intelligent people, simpler people
They overthink it.
Simpler people by nature are just, hey man, you know, they don't get depressed. Now that is just something that plagues people who overthink. So anyway, if you're depressed, you give us a call. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's talk to Diana. Diana, what's happening?
Oh, Lordy, I didn't know I'd be on the radio with you this morning. I have been dealing with Big O tires on a fender bender that my son had with a curb on his Toyota 4Runner.
Okay, Diana, okay, here's what I want to know. Did this fender bender or this curb incident happen after you bought tires?
No, it happened before we bought tires.
Okay, that's the reason you went to buy tires?
That was one of the reasons why,
okay.
Although I knew somebody that worked at that shop
okay.
that I thought I could trust.
Then what went wrong? You go to this shop to buy tires. What went wrong?
What went wrong was they didn't communicate with me.
What does that mean?
On Friday, March 17th, my son hit a curb.
Okay.
And he had a problem driving it back, and he said that he needed to get it into the shop to see if he did any frame damage.
Yeah, he probably didn't do frame. He probably did wheel damage, possibly. These new aluminum wheels are very soft. Okay.
Totally understandable, but there was some frame damage involved.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 92 Toyota 4Runner.
Wow.
He's only going about 30 miles an hour.
Oh, so he was going pretty fast.
No, it was snowing, and he
must have
was
been
going
a big
about 30
curve.
miles.
Well, no,
30
miles an hour is pretty fast, is what I'm saying, to hit a curb. It's really fast.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened? There was frame damage.
So he drove it back to his apartment, and I got on the phone with Big O and asked if they could tell me if there was some frame damage. We looked at the tire and saw that it was pushed back on the passenger side a little. And, the first thing that I wanted to know before throwing on tires and shocks.
I understand. You don't want to waste money, but Diana, I really have to tell you something. I still doubt there's frame damage. There are a lot of things before frames, like tie rods and joints and axles and all kinds of stuff. But I want to, in the interest of time, I simply want to ask you, did it end up that you bought stuff you wouldn't have bought because the damage was more than you thought?
Yeah, in a way.
Is that the end?
They did put on some stuff that I had taken off with the owner because they never disclosed it with
but is that the bottom line? That here's what you're saying. Hey, Big O, if you truthfully told me the extent of damage, I would have never spent X.
Exactly.
Okay, hold on then. With that's what I wanted to know. Now that we have the heart of the problem, we'll investigate that. And I urge anyone to give us a call at 303-713-TALK if they want help directly with problems. And David Salisbury to discuss wills, trusts, probate, and estates. And I mean this when I say it. If you are plagued by depression, if you have any other problems, we have many resources on this show. Many, many resources to get you help. 303-713-8255.
If you need
to spruce up your kitchen. Art of Granite. They do natural stone and other solid surface countertops. You can see them all at their beautiful showroom. They also do cabinets. What I love about Mitch is how he does business. It starts out with a phone call, 303-386-5919, 7 days a week. Then you can visit his beautiful showroom if you'd like, but first, just on the phone, he'll tell you how to take some photos, take some measurements. He'll get you a preliminary price so you're not wasting your time. You'll see if it's in your budget, or they can adjust it to get into your budget. After that, you visit the showroom, pick out what you want, and he'll get you.
Somebody made a suggestion, my Video John guy, and I agree with him. You guys may not, but these ads should be at the bottom because of the timestamp. I use that timestamp a lot when I get calls. Is there a problem with that?
No, Frank's will be up there.
Frank's will always be at top? Oh, okay.
But these are the permanent ones. Compass 2 at the top.
Yeah, permanent ones are going to
Can
be
you
at the
change
top.
the timestamp to view at the bottom then on the
I'll
cameras?
see.
Look into that. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
That's the new ads going on, right, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't realize that.
I don't think you can move those timestamps.
Validation, installation, commissioning, and operation of complex protection systems. Positions are based at SEL Engineering Services, Lakewood.
We need to come up with a tagline under there like, what's Geico? 15 minutes can save you 15%.
Oh, and make it play for Compass.
Yeah, I do the same thing, but 20 minutes can save you 20%.
Unanticipated locations throughout the United States.
Instead of having just the banner. And same with Frank Duran and stuff. Make some catchy slogan.
That's exactly.
Okay.
So 20 minutes can save you up to 20% on home auto insurance. Call now.
SEL Engineering Services.
Call, see how much you can save right now.
It's Ross Kaminsky here for my friends at American Financing. Are you a renter or in the market to buy a home? Did you know rental rates are at all-time highs? If you rent it, you're throwing away money that you could be investing in your own American dream. American Financing has helped their customers get into homes for less money than you're paying for rent and less money down. There are down payment programs which can possibly get you into a home for as little as $1,000 down. And unlike
Dude, you can't go other states and do trust, right? Well, it gets kind of a little complicated, right?
It gets a little complicated, yeah.
I thought you had
But
said
if
before.
anybody ever needs someone in another state, I'll look up a few people and...
Oh, we had it in Minnesota and stuff. Minnesota's like the worst inheritance state of all states.
Anything over, I think, $1 million is subject to their estate tax.
$1.6 million. My dad died $1.8 this year.
Okay.
It goes up to $2 million. That's where it caps off.
And see, we did
Why are
away
they so high?
High. Most states are federal.
That's what I mean. $5.5 million, right?
Right, that's federal.
5.4.
And most states are that.
And
But
Colorado,
there it's 1.6.
One point will go up to $2 million and cap out. Yeah.
Colorado doesn't have an estate tax anymore. They did away with it when the law was changed and Bush was president.
They did away with the estate tax?
In Colorado, we don't have an estate tax.
Just following the feds.
Even if so if you have 10 million?
That's federal, those over 5.4.
Right, but
That'd
the
be
state,
subject to
that whole
federal,
10
but
million
not the
is
state.
no. Wow.
So it's a good place to come live and die.
I heard Bill Gates' dad talk years ago on
He's for the estate tax.
big time on Good Morning America, and he laid out a hell of an argument for a guy that's got billions.
So what's his name?
The investor.
Hathaway?
No.
God, I can't remember his
He
name.
drives a pickup truck.
Yeah.
The hell's his name? The investor. He's probably the best investor in the world.
Isn't that Hathaway there?
No. I can't remember his name.
I can picture him too.
Lives in Omaha.
He gave half his money to Bill Gates.
He used to live in Omaha.
He gave half his money to the Gates Foundation. Come on, he's the
Buffett.
Buffett, thank you.
Why did I say
The singer.
Why did I say Hathaway?
He's wasting away in Omaha.
No, I thought he moved to California. That's where he started, Omaha. I don't think he lived there.
I think he still lives in the same house he had, and he's been separated. I think he may be Catholic. He's been separated from his wife, I think, for years.
Who's that?
Buffett.
Yeah.
Warren.
Or estranged from
Estranged.
Very strange.
He is, I gotta tell you though, man, that guy like can think out what's happening. I'm sure he doesn't do this anymore, but his people can figure out what's happening in certain climates around the world and expect it to, and make predictions on where to be in the market at some. I mean, it's an incredible vision to have.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, here to help you. It's that simple. Give us a call. Now, Diana says,
I went to Big O, or my son did, and his 4Runner was damaged on a curb, and I spent more than I wanted to and I wouldn't have spent this had I known how extensive the damage was. So we have to analyze this, Diana. First of all, how much did you spend with Big O?
Well, I had a bill walking out at $2,105.
$2,000?
Yes, but I am in negotiation right now with the owner, but he's still doing stuff behind my back, like taking the vehicle out of the frame shop to try to rectify a part that they swapped out, which was a control arm.
Well, they want, there's nothing wrong with them trying to mitigate the damage.
Right.
I mean, where does it stand right now? Your claim is they weren't honest with you, or
Exactly.
is it possible they didn't know the extent of the damage?
No, they knew the extent of the damage. From what I was
So what would you have done? What would you have done? Wrecked it, or what? Would you have totaled it?
I would have probably have totaled it out for
Okay.
parts and started looking for another vehicle for my son. We had just put about $1,200 of work into the car prior to the tire damage that he did.
All right, so what did your mechanic, you were about to tell me what your mechanic said.
Well, this is what happened in the interim of all the work. We were going to tow the car in on Saturday, and my son thought, why are we taking it to a tire shop? And I thought, well, in case it's a tire problem, maybe they can work with me and rectify the problem.
Yeah, but what did your mechanic tell you? You were about to tell me something.
Well, my mechanic, after I took the invoice in there, I asked him if he could have, if he could have fixed this problem, and the first thing that he said was he would have never taken it to a Big O.
Well,
secondly, I asked if it could be aligned without tires, and he said yes.
Well, of course
And
it could.
so
That
did the frame
doesn't.
shop.
But that doesn't necessarily. Oh, so you're saying he probably didn't even need tires?
They told me I needed tires for them to align it. You could see, I don't know much about frames or vehicles themselves. I do learn a lot through the process.
But here's the problem. Right now, seriously, right now, there's not much you can do about it. You approved the work, and they did it. And if they did the work, they said...
approve some of the work that they did, including swapping out an original control arm for a salvage part. And I have pictures to prove that.
Okay.
That's when they rectified, that's when they decided to take the car off of the lot per the owner. But he didn't tell me as we were negotiating this problem. But they picked it up on the 14th from the frame shop. It's been waiting because it's scheduled to go in tomorrow.
So what you're claiming is, that you did not approve the work.
No. Or did I approve
so then you don't. Then you don't. Okay. Then you don't have to pay anything. So if you didn't approve the work, why did they go ahead and do work if you didn't approve it?
I approved tires and I approved shocks since they were.
But that's the only thing
only because
that's the only thing you approved.
Yes. And that's the only thing I approved. I didn't approve for them to do.
Well, then they can't. Then they can't charge you for it. Then they can't charge you for it. It's pretty cut and dry. It's pretty cut, Diana. So why are they even charging you? They can't. If they didn't approve, so unless they have proof, that you approved it, they can't charge you for it.
Exactly, and that's what I'm coming down to, John.
All right, hold on.
I'm coming down to.
Well, so you just showed up there, Diana, and the bill went from what did you approve? How much did you approve?
I approved tires. I didn't add them up.
Okay, tires and what else?
Probably for about $700.
What else?
And
What else?
shocks.
Okay, tires and shocks. So what were shocks about? Do you know?
Shocks total probably came to about almost $1,500.
Okay, so you're saying there another $700 was showed up on the bill that you absolutely didn't approve.
Exactly.
Okay, so are they willing to just charge you for the tires and the shocks?
To do that, but they are not. I'm at the point now where I finally got.
Diana, you got to complete one thought before you go on to the next. Here's my question. Just help me out. Are they willing to charge for just what you approved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then
Although I don't think I needed to approve that because it could have been done without tires on the car. And
Diana, it doesn't matter. You approved them, okay? You approved them. What could have been done? If you go in for tires, they're going to give you tires. They're not going to say you don't need tires. So tires and shocks. Here's what I want to know. If they're willing to charge for just tires and shocks, and believe me, I understand what you're saying. Well, you know, we hit a curb, and what they should have told me was that doesn't necessarily ruin the tire, even though it could do frame damage, which is possible. But it doesn't matter at this point. If you're paying for just tires and shocks, then what is the problem? If they've agreed...
The problem?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll tell you the problem. I got a frame estimate for, and this is what it reads, set up and measure frame. Okay. So
who did you get this from?
This is from Mike's Frame and Alignment.
All right, so Diana.
He came highly recommended.
So I'm asking you, though, I'm not asking about frame damage. If they are willing to charge you for just what you approved, you still are not happy. Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, because they swapped out a part. An original part, the control arm with a salvage arm part.
Why did they do that? Why did they do that?
I don't.
Because you needed it? Is it possible you needed the...
Why else would they do it?
How many miles on this car? How many miles on this car?
200,000. They replaced it with
Diana,
much more likely the control arm got that, not the frame.
Diana, you have to listen to me. You're not listening, okay? I'm hearing everything you're saying. If they are willing to charge for just what you approved your skills. Okay, so if they can get that part, are you happy then?
I got the part, but what about the labor? They pulled the original part out. How do I? They didn't even save the original part, Tom.
Diana?
Yes. Yes.
You're not making sense. I am totally objective here, and you don't make sense. Here's what I'm asking. You are upset. You are upset. Listen, Diana, I am someone who listens to people objectively and wants to help, and I don't hear your case. I hear you saying you only approved tires and shocks. The next thing I hear you saying is they somehow replaced a part that did something. Now, you keep saying with salvage. Diana, do you know what that means? That means they took an old part. You have a car that's 200,000 miles. I'll bet you it's in no worse shape than your whole car is. So you keep saying salvage. You think salvage is bad. Salvage just means they got it from a junkyard. That is not uncommon. Well, guess what? That's not uncommon for a car with 200,000 miles. Most parts replaced on a 200,000-mile car are salvage parts, and there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, Diana, if they are charging you for tires and shocks, what else do you want? That's all I need to know. What else do you want?
This is what I want. I have to repair that part, and in order for me to repair it, I'm replacing it with a part that they're giving me, but I still have to pay for labor
Diana,
on a part that I don't know
before you drove in there, Diana, you're not listening, please.
Okay.
Before you drove in there, that part, that one part that we're talking about, did you need that part?
They never discussed it with me,
so
Tom.
they arbitrarily replaced it. You didn't need it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm done. See, here's the point. She's not being reasonable. I'll bet you that part was damaged because they hit a curb.
Of course it was.
So, if they didn't fix it, someone else would have had to fix it. That's the point I'm trying to make, Diana. Someone else would have had to fix it. Just because they did it without your authorization doesn't mean they cost you money. Do you understand? If that part had to be replaced anyway, they're not harming you. They're not if you had to...
They could have showed me that it needed to be replaced, Tom.
You hit the curb at 30 miles an hour, and that's not unreasonable that it would need replacing. You know what? It's not unusual. But I made up my mind before. I'm not taking on cases unless there's a real problem. I'm not going to take this case. Here's the real problem. She doesn't want to be charged for any extra work. She is not acknowledging that her son ran into a curb at 30 miles an hour and did damage. She just wanted shocks and tires, and I want world peace. But if there are other problems, they need to be fixed. Just because that other shop did not get your approval does not mean you didn't have to get it done. Now, they should have gotten your approval. You shouldn't be charged for it, but you're not going to get any money from them. I am happy with them giving your car back, charging you for just tires and shocks. That front-end damage that they attempted to fix, they should not charge you for. But I'll be damned if I'm going to try to make them pay for it. Do you understand the difference? They're not going to pay for it, but they shouldn't charge you for it either. It's repairs that probably had to be done anyway. You don't run into a curb at 30 miles an hour and not need a part. So I think they were wrong in not getting your approval. But they don't have to pay for it. They did not cause it. We have more coming up.
That are unreasonable. I'm just not going to do anything. Do you think that she wants them to pay for the part and labor on something that her son damaged? Do you get the picture? Is that would you have come up with that conclusion?
I think what happened is this. She bent that control arm, or he did. They sold shocks, tires, whatever. They probably picked up that control arm for next to nothing and put it on there so they could still sell the shocks and tires.
I know.
And that's it.
I know.
And it's over.
But it still had to be done.
Yeah, it definitely still had to be done. That frame probably wasn't bent. It was probably that control arm. I mean, I guess it's possible, but that control arm would take most of the impact.
I know it would. But I'll bet you she needed it. But she needed
I know she needed it.
She needed it anyway.
And she could have, my whole point is they could have picked one up for $30, $40.
Is it reasonable? Is it reasonable that she wants them to pay for it?
Now?
Yeah.
No, of course not. No, of course not. I look at it this way. If I had a $1,500 ticket I sold, tires and shocks, and I had to put out another $40 for a used part to make the $1,500 ticket go through, I would definitely put out the $40 to keep the $1,500 because I'm already making $800 on the job or whatever it is. So they actually did her a solid in some ways.
Now, are they the Big O? Are they franchisees? Are they franchises?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not corporate owned.
No,
because I was thinking, you know what? If assuming she really had a beef, and they weren't helping, I would tell them to go to the franchisor.
Yeah,
say,
go to
this
corporate.
is what your franchise is doing.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything there.
No,
On
I'm
that-
saying if she really was getting totally screwed over.
On that note, though, they're a tough franchise, and what I mean by that is you pay, for every tire you sell, you pay dollars. In other words, maybe $3 a tire. Plus, I think they get a percentage of gross.
Yeah, they do.
Sales.
Almost all of them do.
Almost all. Goodyear, when I had mine,
I mean franchises. That's pretty standard. They get a percentage of the gross.
That's true. Mostly standard, that's right. Yep, whether it's a restaurant or whether it's whatever.
I've talked so many clients out of buying, but mostly smaller franchises. Because it's hard to make any money.
How Goodyear would do it, it was not a franchise agreement, but you could fly the flag and participate in national warranty and do everything like a franchise, but you had to spend like $200,000 a year on tires. So they simply got it through their direct fee.
What kind did you had a tire place, didn't you?
I had 5 Goodyears.
Wow.
I hated retail. Man, I did retail. I always feel like I'm talking about prison time when I talk about retail. I did retail for 24 years. It was, man, you've never been in retail.
No, only I used to work in my father's store for years when I was a kid.
Yeah, okay.
But he had like an old style pharmacy drugstore.
Yeah, that's
it was cool. It was a cool place.
It's almost like a mini grocery store.
Yeah, it's almost. I always say it's almost like a 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Yep. No, man, I'll tell you, retail. If I didn't have a customer problem, I had an employee problem. It was simple as
The
that.
service industry is worse, and that's what you have is worse than retail. Because now you're talking about dealing directly for a service where you had a product, where you had a product and service. You had both. But like I say, you have bad.
This guy emailed me. He must have screwed up.
Not
but
too much.
He's telling me
I'm a lucky guy.
he was at this particular place on May 23rd, 2017. What's wrong with that sentence?
May 23rd, you mean because it's not there yet?
It's not there yet. Somehow this guy travels in the
Time
future.
travel.
And his whole story is predicated around this day. Because the next day, he talks about is he picked up his vehicle on May 25th. So, not only did he drop his vehicle off in the future, he's already picked it up and had a problem with it.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music.
Hey, what's going on with iHeart? I read something today. No? Okay.
We read it yesterday. Well, you know what? Who cares? Basically, they're saying
they're not going to survive.
They're saying they
Without
basically,
bankruptcy.
yeah, they're going to end up doing probably 11.
I think it's the best thing that would happen to them.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's what it's built for. And most of these
Hi,
buildings...
Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. David Salisbury's with us. Okay, we often get complaints about damage and people not getting approval. I'm going to tell you, Colorado Auto Repair Act. If someone does more work than they estimated, by more than $100 or 10%, whichever is less, they must amend the estimate, and it must be amended in this form. They have to note who they talked to, the date they talked to them, and the time they talked to them, and exactly the nature of approval. So, if they give you an estimate for $900, they cannot increase that by $90. It's either 100 or 10%. They can't go over an extra 90. Now, they can charge you $990, but if they go over 10%, they must get your approval. They did not get Diana's approval. They should not charge her for that. Diana's argument, however, is they should replace the part and also pay for the labor. But that part was probably damaged anyway.
Not only that, they didn't charge her for it.
Right. Well, no, they're not charging her for it because she argued.
That's what I mean. So why would they possibly do anything then?
Right.
It makes zero sense.
No. They were originally trying to charge her $2,200. She argued with them, and they said, we'll only charge for what you approved.
That's right.
You approved the tires, and you approved the shocks.
And now she wants them to pay for the labor again on something they didn't charge her for.
Right. And now the reason I think she is saying I would have never bought the tires and the shocks to begin with if I knew that this arm had to be replaced. But to total that whole car because of that arm is ridiculous. You see, I don't think that 4Runner sustained frame damage. I think the arm is the damage. So the point I'm making is when something is wrong and you take your car in, if you took your car in for a bad transmission and it also had something else wrong, and they fix both things, but you only approve the transmission, you don't have to pay for the second thing they fixed. But you also can't make them fix it just because they tried to. Not if it was bad when you went in. Diana said, well, how do I know it was bad? Well, you don't. But you have a 200,000-mile car that ran into a curb at 30 miles an hour. And what arm was that, she said, Mark? It was a control arm.
Yeah.
That's the most obvious place that car took damage.
Oh, that's what takes the impact.
She said the wheel was behind the other. So I can almost be positive that original arm it went in needed to be replaced.
And the shock connects to that, by the way.
Right. So it needed to be replaced. Deb has a follow-up. Let's talk to Deb. And this was a buyback. This was weird, this one. First, let's give the original problem, and then Debbie, and then we're going to give a follow-up. Okay. What was the original problem?
I had bought the car, or the Jeep from Prestige, brand new, and it had all those electrical problems that we talked about the last time, like the lights went out, the headlights would go out.
It was weird.
System. Yeah, it was really odd.
But this was Prestige, which is a really bad dealership in Longmont.
Oh, my God, yeah. I wish I would have known that before.
Now, they're on our sleeves brigade. They're terrible people. But
Yeah.
well, I
and
thought
somebody
that,
on Facebook actually told me to get in touch with you because
Yeah.
I was complaining about them on Facebook, and they blocked me from Facebook, by the way.
who did?
But anyway.
Oh, you mean on their Facebook?
Yeah. They won't.
So-
I left so many negative comments because there were so many negative comments on there to begin.
And what did Prestige do wrong?
They did not. They refused to refund me the money for the service contract that I bought from them.
Because Chrysler agreed to buy the car back.
You know, Suzanne kind of figured this one out, though.
Now listen to this. Chrysler, they offered to buy the car back, which they should. It was a lemon, and I liked what Chrysler did. They agreed to buy it back, and they gave you half of your down payment. And then they said you can probably get the money back for the service contract. But then
my attorney told me that. Yeah,
right,
I never.
and your attorney was
personally
right. Your attorney is right. So Prestige should have gleefully refunded the unused service contract.
Think
Right,
about
and
this.
they had me running around like they told. John from their finance
Ho- ho-
department was the one who. Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
No, go. You go. You
Okay.
said they were running you around and wouldn't do it, basically. Is that the
Yeah.
bottom line?
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Like they had me call an ally to try to get the lien holder to cancel it, and then, I go back to the Prestige and like
It's irrelevant.
Ally won't cancel it, and I'm spending an hour. Like I will not let Ally representatives hang up the phone.
It's
with
all
me.
irrelevant.
You know
So
what I
now,
mean? Like,
Mark, why is it irrelevant? By
Well, because part of the deal was her entire loan was paid off. Has that been done?
Yeah, but the
Guess
reason
what
that I
was financed
yeah.
inside that loan?
The service agreement.
Yeah, so
No,
they
if
paid
you
it the whole
look-
thing off.
If you look at the settlement offer and the buyer's paperwork, none of those numbers match. Like they're not. Down payment's not even mentioned on the settlement offer, and that's what I kept trying to explain
Deb.
to the attorney.
Deb, was your
And
whole
he-
loan paid off?
Yeah.
Are you responsible for anything else left on that loan?
No.
Then it
Okay.
doesn't
and
matter.
your service contract was wrapped up in that loan.
So she didn't
Right,
pay.
and that's what I was trying to explain to my
Deb,
attorney.
Deb, you didn't
None
pay.
of the numbers matched up
Deb,
on the service.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the numbers match up. Why does it matter, Deb?
Because where is the rest of my money?
What money?
My service contract money.
Here's the deal.
If you look
I don't know,
at the settlement
Deb.
offer,
Deb, let's
and you look at
let's
the
take
buyer's
this one step at a
paperwork,
time.
None of those numbers
Let's
match.
take this one step at a time. All right. Let's say whatever you bought the car for. What did you buy it for?
It was like 35,000 or
Let's say it
whatever.
was.
I don't remember.
Okay, let's say 35, and you put 10 down, right? Let's just say that. Okay, so you
Yeah, and
financed.
the car it still ended up being
Just-
35,000 that I ended up having a loan for,
well,
which I didn't understand how that worked.
It doesn't matter. Let's just say now. Let's say you ended up with a $25,000 loan, right?
I didn't end up with a $25,000 loan.
Okay, whatever you ended up with, they paid it off. So it doesn't matter. They paid it off. They paid off every dime that you owe. So you don't.
They did, but these numbers were not.
Okay, hold on, and we'll come back to this. Listen, we go so far as to try to help and solve problems, but if you don't understand it, I don't know how I can make you. We'll try it again coming back.
Let me see what she put down.
No, she didn't get her 10,000 back, is what you're saying.
Right, but she accepted $5,700, right?
I don't know.
They paid attorney's fees? Is this the repurchase worksheet?
Yeah.
So many people have equity in it, Tom. This is one of the ways you can truly let your mortgage work for you.
So she put.
It's compounded daily finance.
What do you have, Mark? What do you have? Let me see it.
I got the.
This is the repurchase. What do you have?
The actual sales agreement.
Can I see it for a second? I want to see how
very
much.
hard to read.
I just want to see what she paid for the. I just want to see what she paid
Call
here.
303-867-7000 or apply online at idealhomeloans.com.
She bought the car for $37,000, and that included
That's what I couldn't find.
taxes, a rebate of $2. Her extended warranty was $5,400 plus $500. She paid like $6,000 in she has some safe car. She paid $500. So she spent a lot of extra money. $500 for safe car and $5,430. She actually spent $59.30 in extras. $59.30. Okay, the car was $37,000. Where's her down payment?
He says it will be the biggest tax cut.
Okay, cash down. It says is $10,000.
He confirms the plan calls
10
for a
grand.
reduction in the corporate tax rate to 15%.
Down.
Critics contend the tax
I understand
will
this
cut
so far.
revenue
10 grand.
federal deficit.
Okay.
Executive
Now
orders
she
will
ended up.
from so-called sanctuary
So she put down $10,000 for sure.
and then she had a balance. In her mind, she didn't get her down payment back.
Right.
And they're saying that was used to the car, basically. She got a check for...
What was her payments each week, or each month?
Oh, here's the deal. So they bought it back, and they gave her a cash check. So they gave her $2,000 in attorney's fees, but they also gave her some cash. How much cash did she get?
And they paid off the loan.
I understand, Mark. If we want to know that. The payoff was $28,000, and she's saying that doesn't make sense. It's true. It doesn't. Oh, because it was 30. Because her loan balance here. Here's her loan balance. She was borrowing. She was borrowing. The amount financed. The amount financed. Itemization of amount financed.
Earlier this week, Trump called North Korea a real threat to the world.
That's Mark Woolsey reporting.
Was 37,839.
Jimmy is dead. His publicist says the filmmaker died after battle.
I'm trying to figure. Oh wait. Here it is. Okay, amount finance was $30,796. Okay. So basically, $30,800 was financed. Okay, that's what she financed. And if you think about it, with her 10 grand.
Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, chance of showers and a high of 57. Friday, partly sunny with a high of 51.
She financed $30,800. She might finance the taxes.
Yeah, and she'd made payments for about a year on it. So those payments brought the loan balance down. They did not refund her on the payments.
A teacher, a coach, a mentor, or all of the above. And that means you know.
Yeah, brought it down a little.
So a lot of things, including things like.
Well, depending on her
Where's
credit.
her tax? Where's her tax here?
Who use it?
I don't know.
You know things. So what things are you telling your kids? Because even if they're not hearing things from you about marijuana, there's
I don't see the tax
of all the
rate
voices
here.
saying all the things. Yours can be the one that matters most because you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, or all of the above. And your kid saying no starts with you saying something. Get tools and tips at goodtoknowcolorado.com.
This is the Troubleshooter.
Oh, her trade-in got her another $3,000. So she had 13 down.
Martino on Talk Radio 630 KFOW.
If you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, people. Welcome to the show. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. David Salisbury's with us if you want to talk about wills, probate, estates, estate planning. Okay, I have the contract in front of me, and here's what happened. This is a very complicated situation. It was a buyback by Chrysler for being a lemon. She bought the car, basically, the cash price and everything. The price was $37,800, basically. Okay? And she put down 10 grand in cash, but she also had another $3,000 in trade equity that I see. So that was $3,000. So that made her total down payment $13,000. Anyway, if you do all the numbers, she had a loan balance of $30,800, which included the service contract. And it included all the taxes. I just want to make sure she agrees on that. Oh, well, it doesn't matter if she agrees. I have the paperwork in front of me. Deb, the price of that car was $37,800. You put $13,000 down. You put $10,000 cash and another $3,000 your trade was worth after.
I didn't have a trade. It was a rebate.
Oh, rebate. Okay, so it was $3,000. It says $3,000 here, so it says $13,000. So they subtracted $13,000 from the from the purchase price. Then they added back in the taxes and the service contract. And the amount financed was $30,800. Actually, it was $796, but it's $30,800. So that's how much was financed. And then, so you did put down 10 in cash, and you financed 30 grand, $30,800. So now what happened? That $30,800 included the service contract. It included the extended warranty. So that's how much you owed for everything, including the service warranty. I think I know where the problem is. When you did the buyback offer, they paid off the loan completely, which, by the way, paid off that service contract. And that service contract, technically, I don't know where that money goes because they paid it off. And they didn't have to pay it all off because you only owed a portion of that. They wouldn't have charged them the full amount. Here's the other thing I want to know, though. How much cash did you get back? I know where the problem is.
$5,470.
And this is really what where it comes down to. You got $5,470 back, and you want to know, where did my $4,500 go? That's really what you want to know.
I wrote him a check for $10,000, and that's what I wanted back.
I know,
you know what I mean?
I know exactly. I would ask the same question. And here's my answer. I don't know. I think some of it here. Plus they paid your attorney $2,000. Now, here's what I think happened. I think that they offered you this buyout and you took it, and I don't know where the $4,500. I guess what they're saying.
My attorney told me that I could get the rest of my money back from the service contract.
Well, he was wrong, because the service contract was paid off in the loan.
Now, do you see why I'm pissed off at the attorney?
Yes.
You don't think there'd be payments?
No, I can see why she's pissed off, because she didn't get all her money back. She thought she was getting a buyout, and she did. She got a good buyout, but she still has $4,500 missing. Now, I thought she paid for the service contract out of pocket, which means she should have gotten that money back. She didn't pay for it out of pocket. Now, here's the deal, Mark. There is $4,530 missing.
Wouldn't those be the payments she made all year long?
What do you mean by that?
She had it for a year, making payments on the loan.
The original settlement offer said that I was going to get all the payments back.
But hold on.
And then
Mark,
the attorney changed that.
Just hold on.
All right,
Mark, if the payments she made, if anything, would make this more, not less. I mean, she put down 10 grand. She got 5,700 back. So there's 54. She's owed 4. So she did not, in this whole deal, she's not even talking about the monthly payments. She didn't get back.
They didn't agree to give her the full price of the vehicle back. They agreed to pay off the loan.
Right.
That's all they agreed to.
Well, they gave
the
her some
loan
cash,
was probably down by $4,500 over that period of time.
They also gave her some cash
for attorney's fees.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, there is 45. From this perspective, she bought the car, and now she's walking away without the car, less $4,500.
That's right. And they're saying, here's what I'm telling you they're saying. That's because you had use of the car for 1 year. That's the $4,500.
I didn't have use of the car for 1 year. I only had it from March to November.
Okay.
And
so
that's only, they already took out.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying I think that's where the math is at.
But they took out a portion for the
Here's how much they took.
The settlement offer.
Here's how much they took for use of the car, okay?
It was like $1,300 or something.
$1,366. So let's call it $1,366.98. So now, hold on. Let's subtract. So they did already take, Mark, they already took that out. There is $4,500 missing, and I know what you're saying, Mark. I know what you're saying, that she agreed to it, and she did. But now I know why she's pissed at her attorney. She makes sense. I know why she's pissed. Because here's what she's saying.
Okay,
I got a buyout. I didn't get all my money back. Not only, now she did make payments, but she was using the car while making the payments. Nobody's going to even talk about the payments.
And I understand why they take out usage. I totally get that.
But here's what happened. They okey-doked you. They made you an offer and you took it. I mean, they did.
Because I believed my attorney. He told me I was going to get the service contract money back. And I was like,
he was wrong, because you're not. Because that service contract, had you paid for the service contract, he was right. You would have gotten it back. But you didn't pay for it. You financed it. So listen, Deb, you're not going to like this. I'm on your side, but it's too late. You agreed to this settlement. You're not going to get it. You're not going to.
And that's why I have a complaint out against my attorney, because I feel like he's
now I understand you. Before I thought you were just nuts. I understand why you're complaining.
I understand why you think I'm nuts, because
But you agreed to it, though. See, and you're saying the only reason you agreed to it is because your attorney convinced you were going to get the rest of the money back in the service contract.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. Because I told my attorney, I told Chrysler, I told everybody.
It's too
all
bad.
I want is my down payment.
It's too bad, because guess what? Is it possible that your attorney thought that you paid for the warranty out of your pocket?
No, I was very, very clear with him with everything. And then he started to get pissed off because he wouldn't answer my questions, like why the settlement offer numbers did not match the buyer's contract.
You're right. That's why the settlement offer did not match. It was $4,500 off. You are correct.
See?
Here, hold on a sec. Here's one thing I want to say. Prestige Dodge is on my sleaze brigade. They suck. I don't like them, but I was wrong in this case. They did not owe her a refund on the service contract. I just want to make that clear. I want to clear that up. Prestige did nothing wrong in this deal. Okay? Chrysler bought the car back. It's not what she thought it should be.
How much did she get?
She got $5,600 or
plus
$5,400.
$2,000, right?
Yeah. Yes, the $2,000 for attorney's fees.
Maybe the rebate has something to do with it.
No, the rebate was a part of the loan. They paid off the loan.
But she literally got $5,600 back, right?
So, hold on, Deb, wasn't it like $5,600?
5,400, 5,470 or something like that.
Yeah, Mark, there's 40.
That's the amount of the service contract.
No, but it doesn't. Okay, whatever
No,
she
it's
got
not.
back, whatever she got back, Suzanne, has nothing to do with it. If you look at the buyout,
I know, Tom. I'm
if
just
you
saying.
look at the buyout, here's what they did. They took the entire car and they subtracted the mileage, and somehow they took that off, but somehow there is money missing if it was truly a buyout. But like you said, Mark, they never guaranteed a full buyout. No one says it was a 100% buyout, Mark. No one said that. You see, so I understand her. She's saying, I didn't get all my money back. I got everything back except two things, Mark. Are you listening? She didn't get back the payments she made, which is fine, and she didn't get back the rest of her down payment. So we're going to analyze this. Mark's doing it, and then we'll come back. Right now, I want to talk to Ron. Ron, what's going on, sir?
Hi, Tom. I'm looking to see if there's some people out there that can help me. I don't think I'm depressed, but I'm certainly overwhelmed with my life right now.
What's going on, Ron?
Well, my family of 6 is about to be homeless.
Why?
It's a long story, but
Hold on. Who is the family? You and who else?
My wife and 4 kids.
Wife and 4 kids. And this had to have happened way before you called. Just tell me what's going on.
Well, we've been struggling since about November.
What, did you lose a job?
Well, I owned my own business, but I wasn't making enough money. I did some contract work for a distributor and just barely surviving.
Okay.
Right now, I'm doing some contract work for Amazon delivery. I own a 45 days ago, my landlord sent us a letter saying that he's losing his properties and we need to move. And if we could have made it to June, we'd be okay.
Why?
Because I'm finishing my MBA. I've got some student loan money coming, and it would have been able to help us get a.
You were going to live.
I guess that's not. I take that back. I make almost $4,000 a month.
I want to ask you something, Ron. So right now, when are you being evicted?
Well, we're not being evicted. You just gave us a notice to vacate the premises.
You know, I'm really happy that maybe we have time to work something out. I'm happy that you're not right on the knife's edge. So,
I'm pretty sure I am.
You're working, right?
Yeah.
What do you own? You were telling me about a vehicle.
I own a 20. Well, part of the problem, what I'm calling for is, I have a 20-foot box truck, and half of my house goods are in storage, and the other half is in this box truck. It broke down, and right now it's in a parking lot in Aurora, and I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep it there. It's going to cost over $200 just to hook it and take it somewhere, but I don't have anywhere to take it right now.
This guy? Hold on. This guy is losing the lease. I mean, you're losing your leases. When do you actually have to be out? Do you know?
Saturday.
Okay, Saturday. And you
I can keep us in an extended stay.
Okay, but here's what I want to know. Do you absolutely have to be out Saturday? Who told you that?
It says it has to be done by the 1st.
Who says this?
The landlord.
Okay, but why? What does he do? Is he losing his property, or is he lying?
Well, I don't know. It sounds like he's losing his properties.
Okay, did you get an official eviction?
Not an eviction, just a notice to quit.
Okay. Well, if I were you, and I hate to say this, but if you're facing this, I would not leave until I absolutely got an eviction. I wouldn't leave. I know people are saying that's wrong, that's wrong. If you have nowhere to go, don't leave.
Well, well, we can go to an extended stay. Part of the problem was we have our family unit includes animals, and we were going to keep some of our animals in our box truck until we could get, like I said, I just got to get to June, Tom.
How many animals?
My kid's got a couple rabbits.
I just think that you're truly not thinking straight. I don't know. You just want to get to June. You truly think June is going to be the panacea, right? That everything's going to be over.
Well, it's gonna help a lot. I mean, we can get a place. It's going to get us out of.
How do you know you'll qualify for a loan?
I won't qualify for a loan. I just need somewhere where I can put a deposit on a rent.
Oh.
Like I said, up until November, my credit was perfect.
Is
In
this
November,
is
things
this
kinda
guy
spiraled
giving
out
you
of track.
is this guy giving you your deposit money back?
We didn't have a deposit. It's a long story, but we did a rent-to-own, and the guy was dirty and ended up getting a second and then couldn't sell the house to us, and so he ended up having to pay us our rent-to-own money back, and that was over a year ago. And so we were trying to buy a house, but I didn't make a lot of money because I'm trying to finish school.
So right now you need to fix your box truck. That's the first thing.
That's my big thing, because if that thing gets towed, I am hosed. And actually, I don't need it fixed. I need just somebody who's got a good heart that can tow it and stow it for me for about 4 weeks.
All right, and tow it and stow it. And
Where is he?
And you're keeping animals in it?
Well, I won't be if I got to do this. I'll have to think of different alternatives for the animals.
Where are you located?
Aurora.
We need someone to tow that truck to a yard where they can keep it for a while, or he can keep it for a while.
Yeah, I think our guys will do that.
No, well, let's see. We'll try to figure it out. But here's the thing. What other animals do you have other than rabbits? Do you have a dog?
I have 2 Dobermans and a Yorkie, but I can keep those with me. I can figure out a way to keep those.
Yeah, they're definitely not gonna store it with animals.
No, but listen, we'll try to figure something out where we can get that towed to a yard. And then what's your plan in 4 weeks? What happens?
Well, I'm actively looking for a job. I have an interview today. I have interviews lined up. I have an interview on Saturday. Like I said, I finished my MBA.
All right.
In June. I'm just trying to. I was just trying to.
All right, I understand this, Ron. You sound like you are, and I want to help you in maybe even more than this if we can. But the first things first. We're going to check with our people. Meanwhile, if there's anyone else that can help them with a 20-foot box truck, take it and store it for a few weeks. We're going to see what we can do. Hold on, all right? Listen, that's what the show's about, right? 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. We're still trying to analyze that other deal to figure out. I think it's a very simple answer, and that is they did not give her a complete buyout. That's all. They just didn't.
This math looks okay to me.
Okay, hold on. We'll talk to Brent Ivinson now with Ideal Home Loans, and he wants to talk about buying real estate right now. What's going on, Brent?
Well, Tom, we saw rates dip last week, and we've seen them come back up to 4%.
Yes, we did.
Here's the thing. You want to take advantage of rates while they're at their lowest. I know a lot of people want to try and get all their ducks in a row, get everything timed perfectly, but here's what you're facing. As the prices of homes keep going up, and as we potentially see rates going up, you're going to get less home for your payment. So I would really encourage anybody who's looking at buying this year, move that timeline up, get started now, and if you're someone out trying to put a property under contract, we can close that loan in 3 weeks so that you don't have to get caught up in the bidding war. We're finding again and again that our clients get their offers accepted simply because we can close so quickly and because we are a local direct lender.
You know, I've said this before, Brent. The most important service that you provide, in my opinion, is that pre-approval. This is not pre-qualification. This is saying that if you find a house, we're going to close on it. And that's how simple it is. So it is like a cash offer. 303-867-7000. Call now, especially if you're shopping for a home. Get pre-approved. 303-867-7000 or online at idealhomeloans.com. If you're thinking about getting a home, you want to get pre-approved while rates are relatively low. Frank Duran, the real estate man. Who else, right? Frank Duran, the real estate man.com. 303-920-1622. Whether you're buying or selling, or you want to use him for both, he'll give you a break on commission. He's a great guy. He has a team dedicated to marketing, staging, listing, and helping you buy whatever you need. He's got the organization, and he touches each and every deal and stays with it until it's done. 303-920-1622.
This report is brought to you by Carrabba's Italian.
There's a couple of slow spots in the highway drive in the metro. Mark, it's very simple, Mark, though. If you look at the numbers, I think she got a good buyout, but if you look at the numbers, I know what she's saying. She got that cash back. Okay, add the $2,000 and then add use of the card. Does that all come to 10 grand? If you add the attorney fee, the cash plus the use of the card, does that come to 10 grand?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the math is perfect.
No, what do you mean by perfect?
Well, if I look at her actual buy order, it's correct on here. So in other words, she paid
I know, yeah.
She paid...
Did they pay back 100%? No.
No, they didn't, but they never said they would.
I know.
Yeah.
I know the math is fine, Mark.
Okay.
The math is fine. What she is saying is, why didn't I get my full 10 grand down payment back? It's that simple. It's because they never offered it.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm not understanding with it. That she accepted this offer.
Yes, because she thought she was going to get another 5 grand,
$4,500 from
her warranty. Right. But the warranty was paid off in the loan. Yeah. I totally agree.
And I bet Prestige, I'd be curious if they got a big chunk of the money back from the warranty and didn't pass it on to her.
You got plumb line in 30.
That's probably what happened.
They could prorate that warranty back a year.
That's probably what
And if it was a $5,000 warranty, they probably got 3 or 4 back. They probably still made 3 or 4 grand out of this warranty. But it didn't impact her, and she agreed to it.
Well, her attorney agreed.
Well, and she agreed to it.
Seminar is Wednesday, May 3rd at 6 p.m. at Swedish Medical Center. Seating is limited, so please register at orthophysicians.com. That's orthophysicians.com.
Do me a favor, if you have a problem every single spring with your sump pump, get it replaced. The spring rains are coming. Don't wait until you have a problem. Get your sump pump checked now by Plumbline. Or maybe a drain problem. They always get worse in the spring and the hot weather. Or maybe your air conditioning system has just seen its day. If you need a new AC system, you've been meaning to do it, you can get a furnace and AC system complete with more than $2,000 in savings and a 10-year parts and labor warranty. There are all kinds of specials at Plumbline Services. I urge you to call them for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, especially now with $2,000 off an AC and furnace system. And that includes, again, 3 years of financing with no interest at all. All right, they also have help for challenged credit. Now, you're not going to get 3 years 0%, but you can get help. They also have their electrical special, $149. They will find and fix any electrical problem, or it's free. So if it's really complicated and it involves something major, you'll get a free diagnostic. That's what it boils down to. Find, fix, or free, $149. They tell me about 85 to 90% of the problems can be fixed for that $149. 303-586-1086. 303-586-1086. PlumlineServices.com.
Making America great again? As it turns out, a little harder than I thought.
No, because they told us we only had to do it once. If that changes, then we'll do it.
In a couple of different ways.
Where do you think the word wallet came from, right? Believe me.
$1,000 every weekday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Make your wallet great again.
Where did the word wallet come from?
You haven't made any changes to the good pages at all, right?
What do you think the word wallet?
Well, just because something broke again. I was trying to figure out why it broke.
I just looked.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you didn't hit save.
Never. But I never even went that far that you would say.
Hi, Tom Martino here. David Salisbury is with us. We have some questions for him on transfers of property. But right now, Leanne wants to help. She said Ron and his family who called in. Leanne, what do you have in mind? Ron is listening here. Leanne, he needed a place to store his truck. Was that one of the things you wanted to help with?
Tom, yes. I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed and not sure exactly where to go, and I think Ron just needs a little bit of a relief. I do have 40 acres. I live out in Strasburg. I've got plenty of room for your truck. I'd be more than happy to pay for the towing and have that towed to my property and stored there for you when necessary. I understand you also have rabbits. I have chickens. I also have dogs, but I would be more than happy to take your critters and care for them and at least offer a helping hand up.
I really appreciate it.
Ron, that sounds unbelievable to me. We'll make the connections with Leanne, and Leanne, if you need any help on our part by any kinds of background or anything, we can do that. Now, Ron, your plan is to store this truck, and then you're going to go to temporary housing, and then you're going to finish your MBA?
I only have 8 weeks to go.
And plus you're going to work while you're doing it.
Yes, I have been working the whole time. It's just
well, you don't sound lazy. That's good.
I'm usually a 2-job guy. In fact, I had to. I like I said, I own my own business, and I was doing Amazon on the side, and I hurt my knee, and I was trying to get by, and then the wheels just kind of came off.
But thank you, Leanne. You're a very kind person. Have you ever been, Leanne? Have you ever been down on your luck?
Yeah, absolutely. I know what it feels like to be overwhelmed. I know what it feels like to not know what the next step is. You know, my husband and I, we are licensed electrical contractors here in the state of Colorado. Bolt Electric is our company, and we've just been very fortunate, but you know, it's, you know,
yeah.
feast or famine at times. So.
Well, thank you so much. Okay, listen, Bolt Electric, she said, right? Suzanne, let's make that connection, and then we'll follow it up. Wonderful. Steve says he may have an answer for Deb. Let me just explain this, Steve, before you go on. Deb had, for lack of a better word, a lemon, and I think Chrysler did the right thing. They did a buyout. She was consulted by an attorney. The end result was they paid off her loan. Inside her loan was financed, not only was the extended warranty plus taxes. So they financed her loan, and financed all that, and they paid it off. Now, she also put down 10 grand. And the 10 grand she put down, she got $5,400 back. She got $2,000 in attorney's fees in addition to that. She wants to know, where's the rest of her down payment? And, you know, that's a good question. But like Mark said, nowhere in the agreement does it say she gets a full buyout. They just offered a buyout, and the attorney and Deb accepted it. Now, Deb's saying the reason she accepted less money, that $5,400 instead of her 10 grand, is because her attorney said, don't worry about it, you'll get the rest of your money back with the service contract. Now, one thing I do want to mention, the full amount of that service contract is built into the loan. When Chrysler goes to pay it off, there will be money coming back somewhere on that service contract, somewhere. Now, it's not Deb's because she didn't agree to it. However, I don't see why Prestige Chrysler should get it either. And I don't know where that extra money is going. Because unless they simply pay the amount due, Mark, you know what I'm saying? If they pay for the full service contract, then Prestige would be able to apply for the refund. But if they don't, they may not pay the whole thing, Mark. They may only pay a partial amount because it's a Chrysler warranty. Or is it?
I don't know how that works.
I don't know either. Anyway, Steve, what is your recommendation for Deb?
Well, you know, you guys are going down all the avenues. I think, you know, it's good that she was at least made mostly whole. But one of the things, and you'd have to talk to the dealer about this, and of course she does have, in my opinion, the right to have a complete accounting, you know, right down to the penny as to how the money was allocated.
Except remember, Steve, they never promised her 100% of her down payment back.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Nor did she not accept this one.
Right. See, I understand what they did give her a complete accounting. I mean, it's right here. We have it. And all the numbers make complete sense, except that she put $10,000 down, only got $5,400 back in her pocket, but they never claimed they were going to give her all of it back. Nowhere in the agreement does it say this is a full price buyout.
Okay, the only thing I'd like to throw in there, and I'm not an expert in these matters, but it could be, as I told, and gosh, I should know her name.
Suzanne.
Suzanne, this could be, you know, it's one of those things where the moment you drive off the lot, you're fully covered. So if the engine blows up the second she drives off the lot, they have to be prepared to offer the policy that's going to take care of that. What I'm getting at is it could be a situation where the policy, unless you have it in front of you, you're not going to know that it was paid in full up front for no matter how many days, 1 day or the life of the car or whatever. And the insurance company may say, listen, we covered you from day one. The rest is, they're never going to say this, but the rest is just gravy. You were covered from the first second you drove off the lot. I know. Except that no insurance in Colorado is non-proratable. Every policy in Colorado, including extended warranties, are proratable.
Okay. That's just the way it is. I understand what you're saying, except they're not allowed to do that. Even homeowners insurance, health insurance, any insurance you have, they prorate when you cancel. And they're not allowed to short rate you anymore either. They used to short rate you, meaning they give you a higher rate if you cancel sooner. They no longer do that. So, David Salisbury, we talked about a quitclaim deed as just, assigning ownership, and that's really a weak form of ownership. But other ways to transfer a home, what would be another way? Can you explain a beneficiary's deed? Because so many people call us and wonder, how do we transfer property and keep it out of probate?
Okay, beneficiary deed, it's a deed that's drafted during your lifetime, and what normally it is that parents want to leave their home to their kids when they die, but they want to control the property until then. The beneficiary deed says that the property belongs to the parents, but upon the second, and it doesn't have to be the parents, I'm just using that as an example, at the second death, the property automatically transfers to, let's say, the kids. The great thing about this is it avoids probate, but it still maintains all legal control and ownership in the
by
name
the owner
of it to whoever's giving it to them.
So whether it's both parents or one parent, they sign the beneficiary's deed, and it's like an insurance that pays out after death. You don't get the home until after death.
Correct, and it can be revoked if there was some reason they want to. But now that deed needs to be recorded prior to the death of whoever the person is giving away the property.
It's called a beneficiary deed. So if that's the only thing in your estate with value, that would be the only reason they have to open up probate. So if that's the only thing you have of value, if you do a beneficiary deed, there is no need for probate. What about cash in a bank? Is there any need for probate with that?
No, you can put what's called a POD, paid on death. You go to the bank, you tell them it's basically a beneficiary form.
Okay.
And so that when you die, that property goes to whoever you put down as the beneficiary of it. That never goes through your estate. It is not probated.
All right, so there are some various transfers. We'll go over some more. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. I want to direct you to Pro Auto Care if you're looking for maintenance, repairs, or you have a sudden need. By the way, if you do have a sudden need in the future and you go to Pro Auto Care, you'll have their roadside assistance because they give that to every one of their customers complimentary. And it really lasts in between services. In fact, it's even longer than that. It's 3 years or 36,000-mile roadside assistance. I used it. I loved it. It got me to the shop. They fixed the problem, and I was on my way. They can do that for you, too. And, of course, let them be your regular car nanny. They'll give you reminders. You don't have to keep track of anything on your car. They'll keep track of it all and make sure your car is in tip-top shape. The same owner, Alaramas, for 25 years. And doing service on your new car will not void your warranty either. 303proauto.com is the website, and that's also the phone number. 2 locations near Evans and I-25, near Bowles and Santa Fe, 303-PRO-AUTO.
This report is brought to you by A.
They simply don't give her anything back for that. And it's non-refundable. How they, for the service contract, how they get away with it non-refundable, read what it says. This is not an insurance policy. It's a service contract.
Oh, well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. She's not even asking for that back. She's just asking for her money, her down payment. I mean, her attorney said she could get it from this, which is stupid. Where did you find this, by the way? Is this a part of her?
That's part of hers.
You said it's a warranty and insurance? Yeah, but they give warranty money back.
That's how they get away without having to refund it. It's not technically an insurance policy.
No, it is said.
It's a warranty. It's got a warranty.
5 seconds.
You're up. You're up.
Stop by Ace today. So everything you need for the season.
I love Excel Roofing because, well, not only do I know the owner personally, but I know they will take care of you from beginning to end. There is absolutely no doubt. They have the new hail-resistant shingles, and they're offering a free upgrade. That's just if you heard my voice right now. Don't expect it. If you hear it, in 3 weeks from now. Only when you hear me say it or Jay say it. A free upgrade to hail-resistant shingles for no extra cost, except, of course, your normal deductibles. And I want to tell you, Jay is not only an expert at what he does, but he does it better than anyone, and this is what I love. Every contract is spelled out and detailed, and with Excel Roofing, you don't pay a cent until you're content. Not a penny. He doesn't even have a cancellation clause or penalty, in the contract. That's right, no penalty, because he wants to earn your business from the very beginning to the end. That's why he has more than 30,000 satisfied customers. You can be one too. Just give him a call, 303-761-6400, 303-761-6400, or excelroofing.com. That's Excel as in excellent, E-X-C-E-L, excelroofing.com.
Why does stepping foot into a car dealership have to be so painful, right? Why do we have to practice saying things like, I'm just looking, or what's your lowest price? Why can't somebody just let us take our time and listen to what we really want? Well, guys, it's Dave Logan, and I'm here to tell you there's a better way. It's been right in our backyard since 1993. Experience one price, one person,
1 hour, and zero dealer handling fees, just like I did at Colorado's own Shop BMW.
When you go through treatment, does it make it worse?
I haven't noticed it. No, the treatment is just sounds that are pulsating at different times.
Customers guaranteed for life and endorsed by me. Hi, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino.
How is this tax cut plan? I haven't read it.
There's no details.
He wants to go to 15% from the maximum is 35%.
You know, federal judges are literally making law now. They're just nixing all of his orders. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but now that other judge is in the Supreme Court, it's not going to matter. It's just going to take.
No, I'm talking about like sanctuary cities. He wants to cut block funding to sanctuary cities, and the federal judge says he can.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. That'll go up to the Supreme Court, and they'll agree with him.
But of course they can block funding. That's not.
Well,
what are they
right
saying?
Now they can't block funding.
Are we doing Denver's fine?
Yeah, Denver's fine here in about 15 seconds.
So are they basically saying we want illegal immigration? Truly, is that what they're saying? I don't know. What are they saying then?
What they're saying
kitchen, and they're going to do your bathroom vanity for absolutely nothing. Call them at 303-386-5919 or go online, artofgranite.net.
If you have pain in the back, pain in the neck, like Mark's my pain in the neck, if you have pain, seriously, I want to tell you Stem Cell Institute of America is now in Denver. So on a serious note, if you are suffering from osteoarthritis in the knee, low back, shoulder, or other joint or neuropathy, stop and listen. I want to tell you about a must-attend stem cell therapy educational seminar. I love these seminars. They don't expect you to make an appointment with a doctor right now. They want you to be educated. You will find solutions for your pain along with cutting-edge information that can help change the way you live. Wherever you are, you're probably close to one of the seminars. They have them in Denver, the Tech Center, in Littleton, Boulder, and many other areas. You need to attend one of these seminars and just find out about the cutting-edge therapy known as stem cell. It could be a life-changing experience. By the way, I'm having it done. I'm having some done on my lower back, which is still bothering me from time to time, my right shoulder. And here's the weird thing about my knees. My knees don't have a problem right now, but they can actually increase the joint space to stave off future problems. I'll be reporting on this because I'm going to get an image on MRI and see exactly what it does and report back to you. Now, give them a call to attend one of these seminars. 855-262-4040. 855-262-4040. And for more information, you can go to stemcelltherapyforpain.com.
More than just information. We're talking about what's going on now and...
From certain countries, it's an injunction. They're saying the standard
They're saying we don't know that
it could cause irreparable harm.
But nowhere does it say that the president doesn't have that exact power on immigration.
You're a troubleshooter.
That's the argument.
Okay. We looked this over and over and over and over. Bottom line, Deb, the numbers are there. We went out. The numbers do make sense on what they did, but they don't make sense in that there's $4,500 missing. And your attorney should have never, ever, ever told you that you could make up that money.
And here, Tom, can I just tell you one thing real quick?
Yeah.
The service contract company called me and left me a message and told me that the dealership was aware that the contract was canceled and that I needed to call Tammy at the dealership. Tammy called me from the dealership and told me to go over and pick up a check for Gap and service contract. And I thought I misheard her, so I went over there early and asked her, did you say Gap and service contract? And she said yes. And then when I went back at 2 o'clock, when they told me to go back, the owner refused to release the money. And the whole time the service contract company has been telling me
what?
that they do not, the service contract
This is
company,
exactly what I said during the break. I said, I bet they got refunded from the service company, and they're keeping it.
They probably did.
But she signed, she agreed to everything.
But, Deb, you understand this. We keep saying this. You agreed to the settlement you got. You
Only
did.
because my attorney told me that I could get the service contract money back. And
Deb,
nobody ever gave me an indication that I wouldn't be able to get that money back.
Deb.
Yeah.
I know that, but it doesn't matter. You still agreed to it. You don't say to a judge, by the way, I want to undo this settlement because I thought, my attorney told me. No, you can't. You agreed to it.
The numbers are not right on the settlement offer anyway.
You agreed to it. Yeah, they are.
You don't have taxes till 5. No, they're not.
It's a settlement offer.
No, they're not.
Okay, Deb, we're done now, okay? Because honest to goodness, we're done. I do agree that you didn't get your whole down payment back. But
And the attorney sucked.
We are done, okay? But, you know, if you think you can resurrect that settlement agreement, you're not going to be able to. You just can't. And I don't know why people, when we get to a point where I am, honest to God, I am objective and independent, and I am telling you something, I have no reason to lie to you about this, you're not going to do it, okay? It is a settlement agreement you agreed to, and the numbers make sense down to the penny. It's just that they never agreed to give your original down payment back. Sarah, what's happening with you? Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
We purchased a house, brand new house from Lennar Home Builders last August.
Okay.
And as of January 1st of this year, we had our basement flood. So we walked downstairs.
How many times did it flood?
This was the first time that it was standing water kind of sporadically throughout the basement, but some areas like 4 to 5 inches of water.
Do you think, what was it from? Was it raining?
It wasn't raining. We had no idea what it could have been from. So we called Lennar, and our basement had quite a few boxes in it. My father just moved in with us, and so his belongings were down there. In order for Lennar to even figure out where this water was coming from, because it wasn't around a drain or anything or coming from the walls, they mandated us to move all of the boxes out.
Sarah,
So
where was it coming from? You mean you didn't see it? It's not seeping through the wall?
Nope, not through the walls. It wasn't by any drains, and it was sporadic. So
What? Okay. So what happened?
So we moved boxes out. We called the moving company. It cost us over $2,500 to get the boxes out because it was emergency. They ended up, Lennar hired a contractor to scope our sewer line, and it turned out that they installed our entire sewer line was collapsed. And within those 4 months of us living there, it was just backing up and finally completely exploded sewage all over our basement floor.
Ooh. So Lennar recognized it was their problem.
They did, and they moved our entire family into a hotel so they could fix the problem and installed a correct sewer line. It wasn't sloped correctly initially, so they did the proper grade.
And the reason it was collapsed was they didn't tamp the soil and they didn't bed it properly. So they corrected that, I'm assuming.
They did. After my husband, who works with sewer lines, stood over them and made sure that they did it correctly.
It just so happens your husband does that?
Yeah, if he hadn't been in that profession, they would have installed it not at the right grade again, and we would have had no idea.
Unbelievable. Okay, so you got it done. Now what?
So now we are out that initial $2,800.
Yeah, they should pay for that.
Of course they should pay for that.
What is their reasoning for not paying
They wanted to turn it into homeowners insurance, Mark, and it costs $7,000 to have things moved out, moved in, and
Wait a
cleaned.
minute. Homeowners insurance won't cover the water backup. They won't cover it. Sewage backup.
No, they're talking about moving the boxes out from the basement.
Yeah, but it was a result of that loss, though.
Right,
So,
and that's where our biggest conviction is that this is not our fault. This is negligence on Lennar.
Right.
And they're admitting that, but now we are out $7,000 to move boxes out, store them, move them back in.
Whoa. How did it go from $2,500 to $7,000?
So the initial move out was $2,500, and then to store it was for that month while they fixed everything. They had to tear up our entire
how much
front
was
yard.
the storage?
It was just over $400, and then to move the boxes back was $2,000, and then we had cleaning fees.
How many boxes?
About 300.
Oh my God! Okay, I see. I see what you're talking. I thought we were talking. Okay.
This is a real deal here.
Oh yeah, so we're only talking about $8 a box. I see that. So that was a fair price. So here's what I want to know. Okay, did Lennar flat out say they're not paying anything?
Yep, they said you have to go through homeowners insurance. We are not paying for any of that, and we have talked to attorneys, and the attorneys all say we have a good case.
You don't have to talk to an attorney. You don't have to. Well, of course they won't, because it's too much. I mean,
exactly.
We're going to get on
this one. Just hold on a sec, okay? I think we want to help you on this one. You notice when I said we will take the time to help people who deserve help? I can't see any scenario where this does not deserve help, for goodness sakes. This is freaking ridiculous. Hey, Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. I'll go up there today to talk about cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans with the owner. I love going up to Rocky's to discuss things. I love the way they do business. They have a big inventory, probably the largest around, with used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. And I love that they're open about the pricing. They're all clearly marked. They're open about what they'll give you for a trade. And they're open about loans. There are 40 lenders to choose from. And if you can get approved easily, they'll let you choose a lender. If it's more difficult, they have lenders for that too. Now, here's the deal. It all comes down to you shopping around. No one will ever say blindly go here and buy a car, but I will tell you this. If you do your homework, you will most likely find, when you compare apples with apples, specific cars with specific cars, that Rocky's has the best deals. They have great, clean cars, and they have a great process. You're in and out, and the only reason you would have to stay longer is if you want to. If you want to linger, I love cars. And they have a fun place to look around Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. Give them a call, 303-426-4646, or drop by 63rd and Federal.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
This report is brought to you by ACE.
For the most part, the highway drive and the license plate deal in E470.
She said there were two of the same exact number.
Oh, like they fucked up and made two of the
same number. Oh, one was an older one and one was an older.
How do you do that?
She said she had two different systems, and I can't believe the DMV. The DMV is really a good operating system.
The weather forecast. Today with a high near 60.
No, I'm with you, Tom, on the other part. I've sat there and just want to scream. Just watch in the DMV.
He sat there 2 hours and they closed the door and made him come back.
Can you imagine if that vehicle's in a robbery or whatever, and they got the field cold?
Oh, yeah.
Wrong, or right, and they had a picture of it?
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands.
Exactly. I mean, back would totally switch the case.
Online services.
And you'd be in the back of a police car. Because they just be going on, they go on the records.
These guys are above all.
What could that lady do with her attorney and stuff? She can write a letter.
She could sue him for malpractice. She can certainly she can make a complaint against him.
He's going to say, I didn't recommend that. If you're told you need
oh, yeah. I mean, she's going to have a hard time, but I'll tell you
she doesn't have anything right.
Nobody wants a complaint filed against you, because then you have to turn around. Next time you renew your malpractice insurance,
And you have to tell them you'd be surprised, though, that the bar doesn't investigate compliance. Neither does the Supreme Court or the oversight. They don't. I know you say they don't.
If you steal money from a client, they do.
That would.
And if you have sex with a client,
yeah,
you're in big trouble.
But they will not. I mean, I tried to turn in
Except for it's really good sex.
You know Roger Moore, you know, the bulldog, the bullshit dog, the big guy that looks like Walking Dead. He smells like a morgue. He's like, that guy is so terrible, and they don't investigate shit.
I can't even watch him on TV.
I never seen personal about it.
Did you notice Azar for about a month was the official personal injury attorney for the Broncos, and then it went away?
Why? Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out. I couldn't figure out why the Broncos would want their name associated with it to begin with. I understand.
You think it was, or
there's no other reason?
Then it went away.
You think somebody complained to him and stuff?
What would they complain?
Well, it says, this guy's a sleazebag. Why is he doing the Broncos?
Larson Tax Relief is the only tax
in my opinion.
Because he listened, because they realize, like my southern daddy would say, when you mess with trash, you're going to get it on you.
Hey, did you say creek or crick?
Mornings at 5 on 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
Have a question about roofing? So many of my listeners do, and guess who I recommend first? Excel Roofing. Jay Bretz is the owner and my friend, and it's been 20 years.
It seems like just yesterday.
Jay, first things first. When a customer thinks they have hail damage, what should they do?
Of course, they should call us at 303-761-6400, even before you call your insurance company, and we'll do an inspection and let you know if you have a claim.
And this is important because every claim inquiry you make, even if they don't pay you a dime, will count against you, and your rates can go up.
And Tom, we do more than the roof itself. We make sure that the roof will last and be energy efficient with proper attic insulation and ventilation.
I know when I needed a new roof, I called Excel. You should too. 303-761-6400. That's 761-6400 or excelroofing.com.
Excel Roofing, we're on top of it.
Making America great again? As it turns out, a little harder than I thought.
Failure of Trump Care.
Making your wallet great again? Not so difficult.
Listen to win $1,000 every hour on the hour.
I also recommend building a nice wall around your wallet. Where do you think the word wallet came from, right? Believe me.
$1,000 every weekday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Make your wallet great again.
On Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
If you're exhausted, irritable, moody, lack of drive, no libido, and I'm talking to men and women, that's a natural thing with age. It comes with a reduction in hormones and blocks in genetic signaling. Some keep blaming stress, and a lot of people, I can't believe when people say, I don't believe in hormone replacement. What, do you believe in eating? Well, you run out of food, you eat, right? You run out of energy, you eat. Well, when you run out of hormones, you should replenish them. It is just what to do. You're fighting nature if you want to be vibrant. Otherwise, just roll up and die. But in many cases, you know what the culprit is? People don't take action. I want to talk to you, David, because I've been noticing. I'm sitting next to you every day. Seriously, David, no, I'm not joking. Okay, both men and women need testosterone. It's a building block hormone. And I'm going to tell you something. What it will do for you is amazing, but you have to do it the natural way. And BioT is the most natural delivery system there is. Okay, if you take a shot, I'm going to tell you, you take a shot, testosterone shot, it's going to peak and then wear off. Creams do the same thing. What this does is a pellet therapy. You'll get a pellet in the fatty part of your butt or in the back, lower back, okay? It will dissolve slowly from 4 to 6 months. And it dissolves with the exact proportion you need, because if you go fast and work out, you'll get more secretion. If you are sedentary and you're calmer, you get less secretion. So it's a natural replacement of testosterone. Now, it converts some of that to estrogen, which we all need. And for women, it converts more to estrogen, and they can help you with that too. So what I'm saying is, if you go to a BioT affiliated doctor, you will get this done and feel like $1 million. Now listen, I'm not bragging, but I want you to go online. Go online. Okay, I'm 63. I'm not saying I'm the best looking guy in the world, but what I'm telling you is I'm energetic, vibrant. I'm there because I have all the energy of somebody in their 40s. And the reason is hormone replacement and BioT. Now, biotmedical.com is the place you're going to go to find affiliated doctors. You ready? BioT. It's BIOTE medical.com. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, you will never feel better. biotmedical.com. Don't make the mistake of going to just a place that gives you the shots or the creams, or just a place that concentrates on only testosterone. These doctors with BioT will do much more. biotmedical.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
We were promised, there's no such thing as chemical weapons.
Sean Hannity.
Listen.
Assad got rid of his chemical weapons. Today at 1.
The world cannot tolerate. This is America acting. It's a message.
On Denver's talk station. 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here. So, how do you transfer property? We talked about a quitclaim deed. We talked about a beneficiary deed. Well, you can also do a general warranty deed. But the whole idea of transferring after death, tell them the benefit of transferring at the time of death, David.
Because under the tax laws, you get what's called a step-up in basis. So, for example, you bought the house for $100,000. You die, it's worth $200,000. That's how much the basis is when you sell it later.
Right. So at the time of death, you have a basis, and most likely it's more than when they bought it. Because if they quit claim it to you, you inherit their old basis. A beneficiary deed would be best for that. Also a trust. How do you do it with a trust?
Well, you legally transfer the property into the trust, and then the trust document says who gets it when you die. And there's no probate.
No probate.
No probate.
The trust is continuous before and after your death.
It can last for as long as you want it to.
Okay, now we have butyl. Is it butyl or butyl? Butyl. What's happening?
Hi, Tom.
Yes.
A quick question for you and Dave.
Yes.
What is your opinion on the LegalZoom and all those different websites?
David, have you looked at LegalZoom?
I've looked at it. Let me put it this way. If you're never going to get a will and that's the only way you're going to do it, maybe that works. But what you buy with the lawyer is the experience and the questions they'll ask that LegalZoom won't.
If it's very simple and you have no questions or complications, you may want to do that.
Springs Auto and Truck Service Center update tomorrow.
Oh, really? We have another update? Okay, yes. We're going to tell you all about it. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Don't forget, referralist.com, and save all your problems for me.
Okay.
Rates are still.
I'm going to put it on. I got to do that. I got to go to Rockland's first.
Ready to go.
So,
That's just a meeting. They're not making a show pony today.
No.
Stop paying 2, 3, 4
Car day.
mortgage insurance.
No, tomorrow's not car day.
Oh, what's the update then? My video's not going to be done tomorrow. It's going to be on Friday.
Yep, you did.
There is no update. I found bad reviews.
Oh, that's fine.
I just told them I'd mention them.
Hi, Stephanie. She's right there.
I'm going to mention them every day for the rest of my life.
Interest mortgage to refinance or purchase their next home.